Chapter 76, What is Dragon Slayer Magic? At the same time, somewhere on a cliff, Erza says and others just brought down Erza and others. Damn it. What's going on? The leader brain covered his face before he could speak. I saw that one of the lines drawn on his face was disappearing. Angel was defeated. How could she? Leader brain stared in disbelief. Everyone around was shocked. The guy who had been sleeping on the blanket also swayed slightly. Angel will fail. Who the hell defeated her? Do you need us to go and see? Lisa was busy asking. How could the people of their Erza says fail so quickly? Could it be that the list of the Holy 10 title that I came with this time is really so powerful? No. Continue our mission. Brain, the leader, thought for a moment and then refused. 683 doesn't have time to think about so many things now. The most important thing is to wake up Gajeel and open Nirvana. It's just a failed member, nothing to be afraid of. Or then take the Micro Wendy of the sky and leave first. The leader brain used magic, and dark green magic swept toward Wendy. Boom dash. Just when the magic was about to engulf Wendy, a flame spewed out and exploded together with a magic collision. Everyone looked at it. The smoke dissipated, and the air was in the air. Princess Dino hangs in the air holding Wendy. Carla and Dan are hanging on him. Dino. The people below are overjoyed. They thought that this time they were all going to fail. And now Dino's appearance has stabilized their military spirit. Who are you? Leader brain looked at Dino in the air and asked. Everyone else beside them looked up at the sky. Looks like I can move my body a little bit this time. Dino fell slowly, put Wendy aside and looked at Erza says in front of him. Kill him. The leader brain gave the order. Lisa, his subordinate, disappeared instantly, came to Dino's back, raised his foot, and kicked. Dino, watch out. He's very fast. Elle immediately shouted from below. However, Dino raised his hand and grabbed Lisa's neck like a worm. Cough cough. Lisa is in pain. Looking at Dino in shock. He didn't expect his proud speed to be completely ineffective. Even he couldn't see how the man broke the magic. Roar of the poison dragon. Dino took a deep breath, brewing extremely poisonous toxins in his mouth, and instantly a blood-red magic circle appeared in front of his mouth. A huge roar rushed out. Instantly annihilate Lisa that Dino is holding in the palm of your hand. Spit. The toxin spreads, corroding Lisa's body within a moment. Puff. Dino throws Lisa's body out. Look up again at the others in Erza says in front of you. Poison dragon? After hearing the name of the move, everyone in Erza says was first shocked. They knows that the poison dragon sorcerer is their member, so how could another poison dragon pop up? Who are you? Cobra stared, using his ability to listen to what Dino had in mind, but he soon discovered that he couldn't hear anything about him at all. This ability has always brought him countless conveniences. Does it fail now? Who am I? Dino felt amused, and walked step by step towards the crowd of Erza says. What followed was the rising magic. Dino is unleashing the pent-up power within him, and he longs for a strong opponent. One is more powerful than Lagos's. Horrible. Very scary. Everyone present is drooling. Even Erza and the others, who knew that Dino was very powerful, couldn't help swallowing at this moment. Magic power is constantly rising around. The air was unpredictable. The terrifying power was suppressed, and they even felt a burning pain when breathing. Powerful magic. Terrible opponent. Let's go together. The leader brain gave the highest rating and let Cobra and Ti work together. The two also knew that the enemy in front of them was definitely not weak. Immediately rushed towards him. The land softens. Roar of the poison dragon. The two immediately released their moves. The former Hotai softened the land towards Dino and wanted to swallow him into the land. The latter Cobra uses Dragon Slayer magic. Dragon Slayer magic. Natsu was shocked, never expected to see Dragon Slayer magic again here. At this moment, his heart was surging, and he couldn't wait to come forward and fight the poisonous dragon in a hearty and dripping battle. Dragon Slayer. Brother Dino and that man are Dragon Slayer. Wendy, who was watching the fight, murmured softly. Dino is amazing. And a new Onuo's voice also echoed beside him. Although I don't know what happened to Wendy, it's right to praise Dino directly at this time. In the field, the battle of a group of 3 people has already happened for several rounds. Although Nabuta used his land softening ability to support Cobra by the side. But how could Dino's power be what they imagined? The two of them were defeated by the strength of their physique alone. Damn it. I absolutely can't believe you're so good. Cobra yelled. The claws of the poisonous dragon. The right hand is wrapped in the venom of the poisonous dragon, wrapped around it, and grabs Dino like a dragon. Form huge scratches in front of you. The claws are going to cut through the sky, and with powerful sharpness, they are going to dismember Dino. Dino backed away. Put your hands in front of you. The golden lightning was mixed with fiery blood-red flames. Lei Yanlong's roar. The magic circle in front of him is ready to go. The roar of the fusion of lightning and flames spit out. The billowing flames devoured the poisonous dragon's claws, even though the poisonous dragon's claws were very corrosive. But with Dino's move, he was burned into dust by flames and lightning before he even got close. It's my turn to attack. Dino hooked up a smile and took off from the ground, and there were storms around his body. Dino brother. At this time, Wendy below felt a little familiar for some reason. It was as if the abilities to be displayed were closely related to her. Dino smiled and looked at Wendy. Wendy, today brother, I will teach you a trick called dragon slaying magic, Dino said. Wendy and Carla below are a little curious. Although brother Dino is also a dragon slayer, the dragon slayer magic she uses is a little bit different from Dino's. Look good, Dino said. Mouth slightly open and take a deep breath. Suddenly, everyone present found that the air around Dino's body was eaten into his mouth by him. Wendy's eyes widened for a moment. How could it be? Carla was also shocked. Eat air. This is an ability that belongs to Yanlong alone. How could Dino do it? Chapter 77, Sky Dragon Slayer Profound Truth, Breaking Skyware. Lulu was also puzzled at this moment. The same goes for Wendy. When you're full, the power comes up. Dino hiccuped. There was a grey airflow entangled in the hands. Dragon's broken tooth. Claw hands. Dino grabbed forward. The paw prints, which are almost the same as those of the poisonous dragon, squeeze towards the middle from both sides. That scratch will tear everything in front of you to shreds. Heaven, Yanlong's broken tooth. Wendy muttered to herself. He looked at Dino in disbelief, and couldn't believe it in his heart. And Carla was stunned. Below that, the poison dragon cobra's scalp is numb and his body is somewhat uncontrollable. This blow also looks quite powerful. He has no moves to resist. Hotai next to him also understood that if he did not resist this move, the final result would be death. Without further ado, he stepped forward immediately, manipulating the magic of softening the earth to resist this move by covering up layers of earth walls in front of him and the poisonous dragon cobra. But 16. How can Dino's moves be so easy to resist? The claw marks ripped apart the layers of earth like mud, and the sharp claws cut through Hotai's body. The trick is gone. The ground in front of him has been cut off by one layer, which is one step deeper than the surrounding land. Another Erza and Erza's member defeated. The lines on Brain's face disappeared once again. Midnight. Wake up. Brain looked at his son who was sleeping on the blanket next to him and called him directly. There is not much time to think about the current situation. Procrastinating any longer would be too dangerous. On that blanket, Midnight slowly opened his eyes, swept over the people present, and stepped down from the blanket. Destroy all enemies in front of you, Brain ordered. Midnight nods. Good father. Opposite, Wendy Ertel also noticed that the strange man had woken up. Brother Dino, be careful. Miss Erza and their attacks didn't work on that person before. They couldn't hit him at all. Wendy reminded immediately. Dino's eyes also swept across Midnight with a smile on his face. Speaking of which, I like sleeping very much like you. I didn't expect that we would fight if we have similar interests. It seems that I am going to clean up the battlefield, Dino said. The body leaps higher in the air. The poison dragon looking down at the ground. Hope you can survive. As Dino said that, countless magic powers began to condense in his body. Sky Dragon Slayer Profound Truth middle.Zhao Skyware. A time. The poisonous dragon below formed a large-scale wind barrier in all directions, followed by the enchantment being continuously compressed, and finally there was a wind-blowing poisonous dragon that could penetrate the sky. Monument boom. The poisonous dragon cobra screamed again and again, and his body was knocked out by the air. 3 or 2 places of blood fell on the ground, but the people had disappeared and flew into the distance. His poisonous snake immediately chased after Cobra's figure. On the ground, a flat piece of land was cleared. Dino slowly descends to prepare for the next battle, and the people behind Natsu and Wendy are quite weird. It's amazing. I didn't expect Dino to use the Dragon Slayer Profound Truth. I thought he used so many dragon slaying spells that he couldn't kill the Dragon Profound Truth. Now it seems that I think too much. Natsu was surprised. He has always thought so, mainly because Dino's dragon slaying magic is amazingly powerful, and there are still a lot of them. Therefore, he instinctively felt that mastering so many dragon-slaying magic should not destroy the dragon's profound meaning. Shocked now, and Wendy's heart is beating wildly. She doesn't know how to kill the dragon. What Brother Dino played just now is Yanlong's mystery of dragon slaying. Could it be that he has seen Yanlong Grandini? How could he have the same dragon slaying magic as Wendy? Carla was surprised too. The main thing is that what happened in front of her really made her feel incredible, and Erza Lucy and others have nothing to say. However, Blue Pegasus and Leon and others wanted to express a few words of emotion. I didn't expect Erza and Erza, who crushed us just now, to be left with 2 people. Dino, he's really good, and he's not uglier than us. It's so unfair. What a powerful fairy tale. I never thought that his strength has reached this level. Who can stand it? Fortunately, there is no competition to learn from, otherwise we would have lost very badly. Everyone was emotional. Dino's strength is very strong, and there are many types of magic. It feels beyond their imagination. At this moment, I only feel that they themselves are here to make up the number. Then it's just the 2 of you. Dino stretches. His eyes stayed on the man named Midnight in front of him. The brown lips and a pair of eyes that look at everyone's listlessness also make people feel a little different. Come on, let me see how you are. Dino chuckled. Dino is also very clear about this Midnight ability to bend any magic. In addition to not being able to bend the human body, it is almost omnipotent. For other people, even Erza would not be able to easily deal with him. See how powerful he is. You are all my prey. Please make me happy. Midnight raised his hand and waved at Dino. Suddenly, Dino was bound in the air by an invisible force without much movement and fell heavily to the ground. Dino brother. Everyone was worried. The Midnight before 693's eyes was tricky, and they couldn't see any signs of using magic at all. The party Dino stood up as if nothing had happened. I patted the dust on my body and looked at Midnight on the opposite side. Then what? Dino's voice was calm. It seems that the move just now did not cause any damage to Dino at all. That Midnight frowned slightly unhappy. Use the same magic again. Want to do it again? When magic is used, Dino's body didn't move at all. What's the matter? Is it that Midnight's hand can't be kept? Impossible. But why hasn't Dino been attacked? Could it be that Dino already knows what kind of magic that guy is? But the question is, what is this magic, and I can't see any signs of how to deal with it. Dino's body didn't move either. Was the guy really missed? The few people behind them were thinking hard. The magic can't hit, and you can't see any signs when you are also attacked. What magic is this? Midnight on the opposite side was also very depressed. The move just now was clearly the right one, but why didn't there be any movement? Zigzag magic can distort the attack trajectory of magic. Magic rebound is the extension of zigzag magic. The most common attack method is to twist the opponent's clothes to hang the enemy. Am I right? Dino chuckled and told Midnight's magical powers. Chapter 78, as expected of the equally handsome you. Midnight on the opposite side is the most shocking. He knows his magic. I just didn't expect a person who just met him for the first time, and he could see and explain the principle of magic. It is indeed a very difficult enemy. It turns out that this kind of magic is really difficult to deal with. Natsu behind him also suddenly realized. Having said that, the reason why the attack that he had hit earlier failed was also obvious. But, this ability can distort all attacks. How to defeat him? Lucy's brain is spinning, thinking about countermeasures. As far as she is concerned, there is simply no magic that can deal with this ability. Everyone else is a fast-thinking brain. Even if you know the principles of my magic, how can you possibly be immune to my abilities? Opposite Midnight still can't figure it out. The trick he used just now clearly had no flaws, but it was still ineffective against the Dino in front of him. What is this principle? Everyone looked at Dino and waited for his explanation. And Dino smiled, stretched out his hand and waved, and saw that the clothes on his body were automatically twisted and wrapped. That's right. I'm immune to your abilities because I can also twist magic, Dino said. Shocked. The eyes of everyone around were widened. This moment is all to understand how Dino did it. It turned out to be the same twisting magic. In this case, of course, you can use this ability to distort the opponent's offensive means. How is this possible? In the middle of the night, he suddenly stared, and his eyes trembled slightly. This guy has the same magic. Tricky. Quite tricky. Then why don't you join us in Erza says? As long as we join forces to utilize the power of Nirvana, the world will be completely controlled by us. The leader brain was also moved when he heard Dino's words. Dragon Slayer magic, twisting magic, and that powerful insight. As long as Dino alone can withstand the other members of the entire Erza says. If such a person joins Erza says, he can even go to 2 other dark guilds to meet. Behind, the hearts of Blue Pegasus and the Serpent Gajeel jumped. Some were worried that Dino would agree. No, Dino's sentimental character has no interest in dominating the world, Gray said. Especially because Erza says has no girls at all. Dino is even less likely to agree. Lucy also reached out and touched her white chin in agreement. Before, Dino's mouth twitched as he listened to Lucy and Gray's words. What the hell? With such a powerful strength, in the eyes of these two guys, there is only laziness and lust. Lucy, prices have risen recently, so the rent has increased by 30%. Hey, don't do it, brother Dino. No response. Lucy. Dino moved his body slightly and stayed for a moment on the head brain and the Midnight in front of him. It's time to end this boring fight. Pulling his hands to the side, a coquettish dark black knife appeared in his hand. Grasping the handle of the knife with both hands, he stepped on the ground. Sword and sword shadow. Dino quickly slashed towards Midnight's body, but each attack directly cuts through Midnight's body to the strange rocky slope behind him. Clank. The sharpness of the blade slashed on the stones and soil slopes, and layers of strange rocks were lifted up, and the ground in that place sank a little. It's useless. You who have zigzag magic should know that magic is invalid. Midnight is unmoved, although surprised that Dino also uses the same magic. But this kind of magic is almost incomprehensible. Remnant, is it? Dino chuckled lightly, and the knife in his hand disappeared as he raced. Instead, it was a huge fist that directly hit Midnight's face. A wisp of blood spurted out. Midnight's body was also directly knocked flying and fell to the ground, then slipped. Sago. Hey, isn't the zigzag magic immune to attacks? How can you be hit? In the rear, Lucy and others all said different. Twisting magic can be immune to all attacks, but why is it still hit? Could it be that Dino is using some tricks? Midnight's face also darkened, and he wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth and stood up. Dino raised 2 fingers. The zigzag magic is very powerful, but it has two huge weaknesses. Two weaknesses? The three guilds behind them were curious. This zigzag magic is so powerful and has its weaknesses? What exactly is it? At this moment, many people were aroused by Dino's words. The first weakness is that zigzag magic can bend weapons and magic, but it can't bend human bodies. I didn't use any magic and didn't bring any magic power just now. I can't bend it with a simple punch, Dino explained. The people behind all leaked an expression of sudden realization. I see. They all quickly understood the meaning of these words, and instantly found a solution. So it seems that this twisting magic can find a solution as long as you observe carefully. Hibiki Retiza Blue Pegasus nodded in understanding. Easier said than done. If Mr. Dino hadn't explained it to us, we would never have thought of this weakness. The dark-skinned Liancha gave an undisguised blow. At the same time, I admire Dino even more in my heart. As expected of a handsome guy whose appearance is in the same sequence as them, he is really extraordinary. Second weakness, Dino said softly, and his body quickly rushed towards Midnight. His hands were separated. One hand threw the weapon in his hand towards Midnight, and the other hand glowed grey. The moment it lights up, the stones around the battlefield of the two men kept shaking. Suspended slowly, the opposite Midnight shock immediately habitually aimed at Dino and used the zigzag magic. This move works directly on Dino's clothes. The clothes were wrapped around the whole person, and Midnight's body swayed slightly to avoid the knife that hit him. What? However, this time, the suspended stone suddenly hit Midnight. Bang 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 dash. The stone was hit directly on his body, and he vomited 3 liters of blood again and fell to the ground. That is, the twisting magic can either work on the enemy, Wang Wahao, or on himself. It is impossible to use both at the same time. When it works on the enemy, he can be hit. Dino replied. Everyone present seemed to be in awe. The question in my heart was also answered, and when I wanted to, my heart was suddenly enlightened. I will never lose. Shiva YY, who was struggling in the middle of the night, had to stand up. Suddenly, quack, a beam of light attacked instantly through Midnight's body. The initiator of this trick turned out to be Midnight's father. Brain of the Erza says. How come? Everyone was shocked, and that Midnight looked at his father in disbelief, his eyes full of doubts and confusion. It's over, Erza says. Don't need anyone who lost to the regular sorcerer guild. Even if you are my son, if your strength is not good, then you disappear. Brain's voice was cold. It seems that it is not a person, but an object, a dispensable object or prop. Chapter 79, Lei Yanlong's Roar. The words of the leader Brain made everyone in the 3 guilds disgusted. This guy actually killed his comrade, and said that the weak are not worthy of joining their guild. Sure enough, the Dark Guild did not have a good thing. At this time, Dino raised his hand and waved. The wind howling. All the members of the 3 guilds swept towards a high point on a hill in the distance. Go away, there will be a big battle next. Dino answers everyone. His gaze shifted to Brain, the leader in front of him. Lee personality, number. That is a very formidable opponent, and it is also a strong man who makes Dino sacrifice sleep to learn from each other, and it is easy for the rest of the 3 guilds to stay here. The 5th wish pattern on Brain's face dissipated. He himself looked at Dino. Why would a strong man like you come to disturb my good deeds? The cane in his hand was raised to aim at Dino, and a dark green attack was triggered to stab Dino. Dino immediately jumped into the air to dodge the attack. It's all you, and now he's coming out. Void whipping. The leader Brain roared, and the swirling flames and dark green beams lashed at Dino in the air. Dino's figure in the air dodged. It seems like a random leap, but it can dodge the attack every time. A sprint. Dino uses this to charge towards the summit below. Flame burns. 693. The crimson fireworks burned on the fist. Like a tiger descending a mountain. It's like a volcanic eruption. Hit Brain's head with a powerful force. Ever dark fantasia. The spiral black beam with strong penetrating power penetrated towards Dino's fist. The two touched together. Rumbling dash. Earth shatters. Stone breaker. The ground burst, and the attacking airwaves of the two swept around, and the stones were blown. The surroundings of both were smoothed out. The gravel rolled towards the surroundings, freeing up a clean area. Stab, stab tilde. At this time, just when the two people's moves were at a stalemate, a yellow arc of lightning appeared on Dino's body. It's like wearing a piece of armor. The flames followed. Dino puffed out his chest, and a magic circle appeared in front of his mouth. Lei Yanlong's Roar. A fiery flame beam, carrying a violent golden thunderbolt, galloped out of Dino's mouth. Gallop away. In an instant, the thunder flame dragons roared round the leader Brain. The Big Bang erupted from the two-man battlefield. A painful roar. The scorching flames continued to destroy the body of the leader Brain. The ground collapses. The violent hot wind swept all around, smashing the earth, and the strange rocky slopes suffered unprecedented destruction. The wind howled. The waves stopped for a moment. The people from the 3 guilds on the hillside not far away all said that they were different from the power of this battle. The countless hot winds blew their faces. The fiery scorching heat is coming. It was a frenzy that seemed to burn everything. This shows how powerful Dino's roar of thunder flame dragon is. Too strong. Compared to now, It was just a random attack when he was bored at Galuna Island. Leon is shocked. The power of this hot wind made him want to freeze the surrounding air. The body is also hot and wants to melt. It was nothing compared to the original, when he thought Dino had done his best. Now it seems that he is a joke. Where is this going? Dino's power is something you can't imagine. Even a saint's powerhouse can't say that he has beaten Dino. Grace squinted. His senior brother Leon also said something proud. How strong is Dino? Never seen Dino use full force so far. No matter what kind of battlefield, he has never seen him suffer. This shows that the limit of Dino is absolutely unfathomable. Even he was thinking about the so-called dragons are not opponents. It's amazing. I'm burning. Natsu is full of passion. Masturbating, can't wait to rush down and fight Dino or that leader for 300 rounds. Beside, Wendy is using healing magic to heal the poisoned Erza. Heard them, Pga. Talking to Brother Dino can also learn the magic of Yanlong. I wonder if I can learn from Brother Dino. I also want to help everyone, Wendy said. Neither Carla nor Anim answered. Dino should be very willing to teach Wendy. Dino. Lucy stared blankly at Dino, who was still fighting in the distance, and murmured softly. I don't know what was on my mind. On sight, the battle is coming to an end. Brain, the leader who was hit by Yanlong's roar, almost lost his ability to fight again. Dino landed in front of him. Don't you faint yet? Dino is depressed. The leader Brain is really weak. Not even as good as Midnight. So Dino has no interest in fighting him either. What he was waiting for was the inner personality of the head, the president called Wu. That guy is super strong. Who would have thought that this guy will not give up now? He has to kill him. Absolutely. Cough. Can't let him out. Leader Brain coughed up blood in a weak voice. However, he is still so strong. Even if he wants to live or die, he is not willing to let his personality appear. Trouble. Let me do it. Dino muttered another punch to the head of the leader. Puff. The leader can't hold on any longer. Immediately fainted. Right now, the pattern of the sixth wish on Brain's face disappeared. The remaining lines bloomed with golden light, and the whole person was bathed in light. Dino stepped back and waited. I was also excited to see the kind of magic power that was slowly rising. I hope this guy can resist the contact. At least let Dino play to his heart's content. It's not good. It's really bad. That person is about to appear. Aside, the skeleton crutch that fell to the ground also kept shaking and calling out in horror. Dino ignored him. Now I just want to wait for that President Wu to appear. The golden light dissipated. The earth trembled. The stone and gravel were vibrated and suspended in midair by this terrifying magic power. On the hill, everyone was shocked. What the hell is going on? This magic is so powerful. It's such an evil magic. I'm afraid it's not weaker than Mr. Jura of the Holy Ten. Could it be that something happened to Dino? Scary. I feel like I can't move. Dino. The three guild members held back their heart palpitations. Feeling the kind of magic that trembles in the atmosphere also makes the scalp tingle. This magic is too powerful. That kind of unspeakable repression makes people unable to raise any resistance at all. It is slowly rising like an ancient beast. The three guild members gritted their teeth and watched the situation on Dino's side in the distance. Want to know what's going on? Could there be something wrong with the president of Erza says? Chapter 80, the flame is in the dark, and the air is pity for it. Dino's eyes. Brain, the leader lying on the ground, opened his eyes instantly. The whites of his eyes instantly turned blood red. Lee personality none. Appear. President Wu slowly stood up, and after simply adjusting to his body, he put on a cruel smile. Interesting. Things have become so interesting. President Wu laughed. Looking at Dino in front of him is also quite frantic. I didn't expect that the one called Midnight was also cleaned up. President Wu asked. The skull crutch immediately bent his body and kowtowed. Yes, President, I'm really sorry. No. President swept across the skeleton crutch. He rubbed his shoulders and moved a little. This body, this voice, this magic is really nostalgic. Thorn Lala dash. Black and red lightning arcs wrapped around the body. The magic boils over. Little devil, as a reward for my awakening, then you will be the first enemy to be destroyed by me. Talking. The figure of the no-guild leader disappeared instantly. Yu Feng appeared on his own side, and punched Dino's face with a fist as big as a bucket. Dino throws a quick punch and collides with it. Boom dash. The air is shaking. There seems to be a thunderous roar in the sky. President Wu's magic power was released again. The follow-up power instantly knocked Dino out. Crash the mountain. Punch a hole. A 2-meter-wide gully appeared on the ground. This is the true strength of President Wu. Far away. The punched Dino was imprinted in the ground, and he struggled to break through it. He slapped his unmarked clothes. Twisting the neck made the sound of the bones of a cow. Yes, really good. Your power has reached a critical point that excites me. Dino responded. Power is great. The savings of magic power is also very terrifying. Another person can't afford any confrontation with bunching here. Pity. The stronger the enemy, the more excited Dino is. Let me tell you what makes you strong. The golden arc of thunder surged towards Dino overwhelmingly, as if transmitting power to him. Dino's figure is galloping. The fist of the bearer thunderbolt hits the face of the presidentless. You're very nice, kid. Without a president, it is naturally impossible to temporarily avoid the edge. The magic of darkness also wraps the fist and Dino comes to a head-to-head. Rumbling dash. The collision of the two made the air tremble deeply. The surrounding space sends out sympathy. The gust of wind provoked by the violent shockwave roared away, spreading from the center of the two people to the surroundings. Space 2. Invisible waves blowing flowers and trees bow their heads. Click. President Wu's feet sank 3 feet. There was also a strong hesitation on his entire face. He did not expect that the power of this little devil in front of him was not weak at all. He even pressed his head slightly. How can this be? No, president is naturally unacceptable. Between the lightning and flint, the other palm was aimed at Dino. Always alluded to. The fingertips condensed the power of darkness and blasted out at Dino. When a golden barrier appeared in front of Dino, give this trick the perfect resistance. It's my turn. Dino's fist with feverish flames. A golden arc of thunder also appeared on the flame. Lei Yanlong's iron fist. Fist blow. This move is very powerful. Once hit, even if there is no president, you will be injured. However, that President Wu is naturally not stupid. Feel the ferocity and strong power from that fist whenever you want. Align your palms with Dino. Dark gravity. A huge repulsive force repelled Dino. The two instantly distanced themselves. That tyrannical iron fist also fell directly to the ground. Boom dash. The ground exploded, and the land hit by the iron fist was blasted into a crater. Cobweb-like cracks spread all around. The cliffs where the two sides fought were also cracked with gaps. If it is hit by powerful magic again, then this cliff will also turn into rubble and roll down the mountains. Always assassinate. Opposite, President Wu's hands were wide open, and a large number of black energy bullets were produced. Attack on Dino's figure. Dino jumped to avoid the attacks. Those energy bombs hit the ground and smashed out pits of different sizes. Damn, I'm definitely going to kill you. No, president is angry. After finally waking up, I met such an unreasonable kid. The strength is not only powerful but also so difficult to deal with. Really infuriating. Come on, let me see how powerful you are. Dino disagrees. The strength of this no-guild leader is not weaker than those of the bottom 10 saints, and such opponents are quite hard to find. Ask for flowers. Oh, if you want to deal with this kind of person, you must conquer him from the root. Go to hell. President Wu roared and charged towards Dino with powerful dark magic. Haha, I like the fight to the flesh even more. Dino laughed. Both hands rushed over with fiery flames. Brilliant. Bang 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 dash. The battle between the two was quite fierce. Every collision can crack the ground beneath your feet. The gravel was also stirred up. Black silhouettes and fiery red silhouettes keep flashing and colliding. The fluctuation of magic power also rushed towards the surroundings. Everyone on the hillside in the distance is also looking at this side. I didn't expect the 6 Erza says presidents to be so powerful. That kind of magic is too fierce. Gray breathed in the hot air and frowned. Erza says is more powerful than they imagined, and if it were them, they might not be able to beat them at all. The president of Erza says. Erza propped up and looked at the fiery red light representing Dino in the distance, and the black light representing President Erza says also murmured, Erza, are you okay? Gray asked hurriedly. Erza shook her head to say that she was fine. Erza says has mentioned Nirvana many times. It is a very terrible magic. Now we can't be idle. Let's go to the forest to find the so-called Nirvana. If we find it, destroy it as soon as possible. Erza ordered. Lucy and the others agreed to immediately descend from the hillside and look for the past in the forest. On the battlefield, Dino and President Wu scattered again. The former face is very calm with a smile. The latter is not so good. There are a lot of scars on his body and face that were punched out by fists. At the same time he was out of breath. He stared at Dino with dignified vigilance, and was shocked by his strength. How can you be so strong? No president said anything different. He never thought that someone's strength could be so tyrannical. Fighting with myself for such a long time turned out to be nothing at all, as if this fight was just as naive as a child playing a house. Made him very angry. The battle with all his might resulted in no damage at all. Even if it is his character who wants to shatter everything, it will be very scary. If this continues to fight, it may be really dangerous. 0. Chapter 81, 4 books. I am the ruler of the stars. Powerful? Dino chuckled. From the beginning to the end, he used less than 20% of the power. These powers are enough to destroy more than 90% of the enemies. When he does his best, it must be the thing that the world will destroy. As for now, can't get to that point. No matter who you are, you must die today, President Wu said. His hands were drawn in a circle like Tai Chi, one left and one right slowly approaching. When he put on a Tai Chi-like battle, the magic in his body was running at 100%, enough to see the powerful level of this move. On the other hand, Dino also found it very interesting to see this, and simply planned to show some powerful moves. Open your arms. Hair without wind automatically. The wind was blowing slowly around. Dino's eyes are absent-minded and colorless. Mouth muttered to itself. It's useless. No matter what 697 style you use, it will be wiped out by my move. President Wu said. The hands contain endless power. It is a kind of dark power. That kind of power is full of allure, as if to attract some of it. Open the sky to measure the sky. Summon all the stars. Gather all the rays of light. and appear in front of you," Dino murmured. At that moment, the battlefield around the two of them turned into a starry sky. The surrounding planets revolved around the two people, and each star shone with light. The light poured into Dino's body. The opposite President Wu naturally also saw this scene, but now there is no room for turning back. Either he used his own trick to destroy Dino, either it was wiped out in endless time and space by the stars of this week. "I will definitely win." "No," President roared. "I dare not show weakness and squeeze the few magic powers in my body." A steady stream poured into the seductive dark aura between his hands. "4 books. I am the ruler of all the stars," and opened the door of desolation in all directions. The light is extremely dazzling. Dino's whole body was shrouded in golden light. Star travel. The stars are cheering, excited. It seems that they are welcoming their master, dedicating to him selflessly with the innumerable radiance of the stars. "History is about to end before me, and the genesis of nothing will begin." President Wu pondered. "Bring your hands together in a circle." Countless dark black ripples rippling from behind. 88 stars in the whole day. Consecration. When needed, darkness and stars bloom together. Enrich this piece of heaven and earth, turning everything into dark tones and endless starry sky. Genesis middle. None. Let's get started. The gate of ghost crying. All day stars. The two work together to unleash magic. Behind President Wu, there are countless demons crying, laughing and mad. Around Dino's body, the stars burst out with powerful magic power one by one. The whole body released a golden light. 2 small golden magic circles appeared in Dino's eyes. Power out. Both of their moves were activated immediately. A time. Heaven and earth cry. The earth and the atmosphere are overwhelmed by this sound. Crack. Broken. Everything around is shattering. The ground subsided, and this piece of land was once again lifted up with layers of soil. The wind is blowing. The sky turned into 2 colors, melt with each other and bloom with each other. In the end, if the power of the stars is even better, the countless demons were burned and smashed by the power of the stars, turning into nothingness and disappearing in front of them. The light of the stars pierces through the mind and body of the presidentless. Ugh! No! President Wu was in great pain, and his screams continued to rise. The light stopped abruptly. Everything returned to the original, and the 2 people fighting in front of them were in different states. "In the end, you are still a lot weaker." Dino turned to leave. The President Wu, who had confronted him head-on, had fallen to the ground without breathing. The skull scepter was lying on the side trembling, for fear that Dino would see it and be shattered. "No President, failure." Erza says, "Lose all." Dino won the final victory against the entire Erza says alone. Consume magic power, less than 20%. Dino went to a place buried by stones and pulled out a blanket and cleaned it up with water magic. Then directly carry it up and float towards the location of the Demon Cat's House Guild. Dino loves this blanket the most. In this way, you can sleep no matter what you do in the future, and you don't need to worry about getting lost. "Nirvana, leave it to Erza and the others," Dino murmured. Erza says plan failed, and Nirvana has not yet started. As for how to destroy Nirvana, I will leave it to Natsu and others. Now he just needs to go back to the guild location of the Demon Cat's Nest and rest. I think Erza et al. Can also find a solution. Right now, what Dino didn't know was that Wendy wasn't taken by Erza says though, but still found Geel's sleeping body. Geel, looking at the sleeping Geel, Wendy continued to help him heal. Soon, Geel woke up and disappeared directly into the hole. Walked towards the location of Nirvana. And Natsu also learned for the first time that Geel was still alive, and immediately pursued Geel. Rumbling dash. Black light appears. Nirvana was activated after all, and light and darkness reversed during the prelude to Nirvana activation. Too bad no one was caught in the dilemma this time. But no one has been transformed. Natsu also successfully found the location of Geel, and a battle between the two was triggered. Before Geel could see Erza, Natsu defeated Geel. At the same time, Geel also recalled something. Tell everyone how to destroy Nirvana. Hibiki Ratis in Blue Pegasus uses a special ancient magic to transmit the method to each member's mind. After their respective assignments, they all arrive at the designated location. I can also get the magic of Tanlong. Somewhere. Wendy stood there and felt the air around her start to adjust. Carla and Dan dodged beside him. Dragon's Roar. Wendy took a deep breath. Immediately after absorbing the magic power of the sky, 0.0 gains a certain amount of stamina. Aim at the target and cast her first dragon-slaying magic. Boom dash. Broken. The whole Nirvana is shattered at the same time. Nirvana is eliminated. There is one less super magic in the world that has the ability to change the world. The battle is over. The crowd gathered again. On a tree trunk, Geel swept over Erza and Natsu and the others below, and left the scene quietly. And Erza says did not die. Clean Poison Dragon Slayer, Angel and Midnight were successfully arrested by the council. Let's go back. Erza swept over Wendy and smiled. Dino should be waiting for them in the guild of the Demon Cat's Nest. Natsu and the others laughed happily. A group of people walked towards the guild of the Demon Cat's House. Chapter 82, a guild that exists only for one person. Demon Cat's House. The blanket floated into the Guild of the Demon Cat's nest. President Robin Lu personally came out to meet him. Nirvana is destroyed. Dino opened his eyes and looked at Robin Lu in front of him and murmured softly, Nabra, yes, our Nerubite mission has been completed. Robin Lu's eyes were full of vicissitudes. There is endless nostalgia and emotion in the voice. Everything is coming to an end. You're going to disappear when they come back. Yes, Wendy will be very sad. Please. The next day, the sun is just right. In the Guild of the Demon Cat's Inn, everyone rested in the Demon Cat's Inn after a long day's exhaustion. Today is the day to leave. In the guild yard, the crowd was divided into two groups. Wendy stood in the same position as the former guild leader of the Demon Cat's Lodge. Erza and the other three guilds stood opposite. The two sides are opposed. Fairy Tail, Blue Pegasus, Scales of Snake Princess, and Wendy and Carla, thank you for defeating Erza Says and successfully preventing Nirvana. I, Robin Lu, would like to express my gratitude to you on behalf of the local guild alliance. Thank you all. Robin Lu's tone is very slow, but his words are quite sincere. Don't be so polite, President Robin Lu. Blue Pegasus Night Out immediately popped out and posed. This time, we fought fiercely with Erza Says and fought again and again. Although we can't say it was an easy victory, the solid friendship of our partners still led us to victory. All night, he raised his hands and held them up, waiting to worship like a saint. As expected of a teacher X3, Blue Pegasus' three subordinates immediately jumped out to applaud. Mantilda, Grey over there couldn't help but complain. These guys shamelessly stole the credit. Lucy also took a strange photo. Strange, did this guy fight anyone? It seems that he was brought down by the woman of Erza Says as soon as he appeared. There is not much to follow up in the process, but fortunately everything is over. Leon also sighed. Saint Tenjuro behind him patted the shoulders of the two. You two did a great job. Hearing this, Natsu immediately became excited, raised his right fist high and gave a suggestion. In this case, it seems that there will be a banquet there. Mr. Yi and his three subordinates also had a lively discussion. The whole place was very lively for a while. All of them were just Erza and Dino and the many people in the Demon Cat's house with expressionless faces. Both Dino and Erza looked into each other's eyes. Still, Dino saw a trace of silence in Erza's eyes. After thinking about it, maybe I haven't seen Joel. Suddenly, Dino found that he was taking it too much for granted. Maybe the future really needs to change. There is a saying called I gain my life, lose my luck. Opposite, Robin Lu remained silent. The lively atmosphere quickly cooled down. After a while, Robin Lu opened his mouth to explain. I really feel very sorry for concealing everyone's information about the Nerubite tribe. We don't care at all. Yeah, we don't feel sorry for anything either. Wendy also nodded her head to show that she thought so too. You listen carefully to what I'm about to say next. After hearing Robin Lu's words, everyone was silent. First, we are not descendants of the Nerubite tribe. To be more careful, we are the Nerubite tribe. 400 years ago, the person who created Nirvana was me. Robin Lu said. Everyone present stared at Robin Lu in disbelief. 400 years ago? So doesn't it mean that this Robin Lu has lived for 400 years? No way. 400 years ago. Be surprised. They were all very surprised by this number. 400 years ago, in order to stop the war that spread all over the world, I created a magic that can reverse light and darkness, that is, good and evil, and it is Nirvana. And Nirvana is also quite extraordinary. It once became a symbol of peace in our country, and it built an entire era. During that time, everyone in our country was filled with laughter and laughter every day. It's just that everything has a price, and there must be a rebounding power behind the powerful power. How much darkness is transformed into light, then how much darkness will be stored in Nirvana. Humans have both good and evil sides, and no may turn darkness into light without restraint. Finally, one day, all the stored darkness was transferred to the Nerubites, and the darkness came. It was hell. We finally started to kill each other, and finally wiped out. Shock. All people know what kind of destruction it is without having to experience it at all. Darkness comes. Relatives and friends kill each other, and it makes me shudder to think about it. In the end, I was the only one who was lucky enough to survive. After finishing speaking, Robin Lu denied his words again. No, up to now, this statement doesn't seem to be quite correct, because my body has long since disappeared, and now it exists in a way similar to the nostalgic body. Wendy's pupils tightened. There was an indescribable feeling in my heart. In order to pay for this sin, I am also waiting for someone to appear and completely destroy Nirvana. I have been guarding it for 400 years. Now, my mission has finally been successfully completed. Robin Lu said. Wendy's body trembled. The voice is also full of sadness and despair. Trembling opening. How to teach people this kind of thing? Believe it. The light flickered. White light appeared on the many guild members behind Robin Lu. Slowly disappear. One by one they continued to disappear in front of my eyes. What's wrong? What's wrong with you? Magana, Bebel. Wendy's voice trembled. Call out the names of the guild members to keep them. What the hell is going on here? People are gradually disappearing. Hibiki Redis narrowed his eyes. Everyone, don't disappear. I don't want to. Wendy was crying, but those people were unable to continue to retain them, and they were still disappearing one by one. I'm so sorry for hiding you for so long. These people in the guild are just phantoms created by me. Robin Lu's voice was heavy. Immediately, everyone was surprised. These all are phantoms with personalities. What an amazing magic. Robin Lu continued. Originally, I lived alone in this abandoned 697 village to protect Nirvana. 7 years ago, a teenager came to the place where I lived and wanted me to take in a child. This child was Wendy. I was moved by the sincere eyes of the teenager, so I couldn't help but agree. One day, Wendy woke up and said that Gajeel would take her to a guild's residence, where she would meet many reliable guild members. I satisfied Wendy's idea at the time and created a demon cat's residence. Before, everyone felt incredible. A guild created for Wendy's sake. Lucy covered his mouth. Wendy cried and shook her head in denial. I don't want to hear such words at all. Everyone is obviously real, and they have been taking care of me for 7 years. How could it be fake? Robin Lu's eyes dropped. Wendy, Carla, you no longer need phantom companions. Go, they are your most important companions. Little stars lit up. Robin Lu leaked a long-lost smile. Your bright future has only just begun. Disappear. People have disappeared. President. Wendy shouted, cried, and sadly chased after the president. But it was empty. Sit down on the ground and cry. Dino stepped forward without a word and put his hand on Wendy's head. A smile leaked out, and a magnetic voice sounded. The pain of parting with the one you love is to be healed by your companions, Dino said. He reached out and took Wendy into his arms. Come on, fairy tale is your home and I am your family. Wendy was crying, painful, sad crying. Chapter 83, Geer Darth.Fairy tale. A week later, Wendy joined the guild and has been very harmonious with the members these days. Whoosh whoosh. On one table Dino was snoring and falling asleep. He hasn't had a good rest these days, and he slept quite comfortably this week. Dino brother didn't sleep at night. Did you? Wendy sat beside him watching Anim and Carla playing at the table. Then he turned to look at Dino who was sleeping and was curious. Kana on the opposite side also beckons with a drink and doesn't care. Don't worry about it, just get used to it. The previous Dino was either sleeping or on the way to sleep every day. Kana complained. Lucy also nodded with a drink. Yes, brother Dino is like this every day. When you get used to it, you will find that brother Dino who is asleep is much easier to get along with than someone who likes to fight. Woo tilde. Juvia over there couldn't stop crying. Dino my lord hasn't spoken to me for a day. I'm so sad. This guild is so boring. Woohoo. The pouring water was flowing. Fortunately, the president considered Juvia's special person. When the new guild was established, the drainage device was also improved, otherwise the entire guild would have been submerged by sea water several times. Upstairs, Gajeel glanced below. Natsu is sitting at the front desk with Happy eating fish beside him. Carla in front of Wendy is also very well behaved and chatting. Even Dino, who had been sleeping soundly, had a kitten in front of him, and he felt very uncomfortable. Why it's all Dragon Slayer, why don't I have a cat? Gajeel is jealous of a bit of plasmolysis. I also left the guild and planned to find a cat to follow me. Dangton, dong 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 dash. At this time, bells rang out throughout the city of Magnolia. All are looking outside. Even Dino, who was sleeping, opened his eyes and looked out at the city. The bell. That's right. He's really back. Yeah, I didn't expect that he would actually come back. I really didn't expect it. Great, Geer is back. Everyone in the guild was surprised. There were quite excited expressions on their faces, which showed that the people who were about to come out also made them very concerned. Geer Darth. Who is he? Lucy, who is a new member of the guild, is unknown. So is Wendy next to him. And Dino yawned. Although he didn't see Geer Darth when he joined the guild, he knew who he was. The strength is superior, and it is rumored that he has the strength to surpass the Holy 10 sorcerers. Not sure about the specifics. After all, Dino has been in this world for a long time, and some plots can't be imagined until they happen. Mirror Jane responded immediately. Geer Darth is the strongest wizard of fairy tale. If you say that, isn't this person stronger than Legosis before, and also stronger than Dino? Lucy said different. This time Erza and Mirror Jane were confused. Definitely better than Legosis. As for Dino, I don't know. Geer Darth is recognized as strong, but Dino's current strength is not to be underestimated. The president said that Dino may be more powerful than Geer Darth, said Mirror Jane. Erza also smiled and nodded. The two have never learned from each other, and it is not clear who is the most powerful. And Dino looked over when he heard someone say his name. After finding out that it was Erza and Mirror Jane, he scratched his head and didn't respond. If he fights Geer Darth, he must go to an uninhabited island. The power of smashing magic is super powerful. It sounds amazing. But although he is very powerful, everyone in the guild is too excited. Lucy complained. It's like a banquet, Wendy said. Carla muttered. This guild is really noisy. Mirror Jane explains, because Geer Darth hasn't come back for 3 years. Huh? 3 years? Then what did he do? Lucy was shocked. Didn't he bring it back to the guild for 3 years? Erza took over and explained. Although there are tasks called SS-level tasks on the S-level tasks, there are tasks called 10-year tasks above. A 10-year mission? Lucy wondered. At this time, Dino yawned, The mission that no one has completed in 10 years is called the 10-year mission, and what Geer Darth did is the most terrifying mission called the 100-year mission. Lucy was taken aback. The 100 years of missions is a mission that no one can accomplish in 100 years, right? Erza smiled. Ah, yeah. Mira Jane looked at Dino and said, Dino has joined the guild for more than 2 years, and he has never seen Geer Darth. Dino yawned. Yeah, but rather than seeing him personally, I would rather have a fight with him. I wonder if there will be a chance in the future. Outside, noisy voice. Countless masses and citizens were terrified. A loudspeaker in the sky shouted to the whole city. Magnolia is about to change to Geer Darth mode. Please transfer all citizens to the designated location immediately. The guild was still very noisy. Hearing the shouting outside also felt a little exaggerated. Soon, Dino walked out of the guild first and looked at the whole city. Lucy and Wendy followed. Cities are divided. Dino also admired this scene, but to be honest he felt that Geer Darth had something to eat. Can't even control the smashing magic. It's not as good as him. Of course, he is a plug-in and is not qualified to evaluate others. A wide tunnel extends to the guild gate. All the guild members looked outside with excitement and shock, waiting for the arrival of Geer Darth. Soon, a man with a big orange back, stubble, and a dark green trench coat appeared, walked into the guild and stopped. He sighed, frowned, looked left and right for a moment. Step forward. Come to Mira Jane and ask, little girl, I ask you, there should be a fairy tale guild nearby. Where is it? It's here, Mira Jane replied, pointing to herself. I'm Mira Jane. Immediately, Geer Darth stared wide-eyed. Myra, you have changed so much, and why is the guild so new? He exclaimed. Lucy immediately complained. He just looked at the appearance and didn't notice it. Geer Darth. Suddenly, Natsu's figure appeared from behind. Geer Darth immediately called out his name. It's Natsu. Long time no see. Let's duel, Natsu said and rushed forward to fight. And Geer Darth didn't know whether to laugh or cry, raised his wrist and flew Natsu out like a circle. Scan all the members in the guild. There are a lot of new faces in the guild. Finally, when he stopped on Dino's body, his eyes narrowed slightly. It's really amazing. Geer Darth. President Makarov shouted. Geer Darth also stepped forward. President, long time no see. Makarov stared at him and asked, how's the work going? Everyone in the surrounding guild couldn't help but breathe. They all knew what kind of mission Geer Darth was doing. Also very curious to know if Geer Darth has done his job. Geer Darth pondered. After waiting for a while, he scratched his head and laughed awkwardly. Ha ha ha, sorry, I can't do this task. Shock. Everyone in the guild was amazed. No, he is Geer Darth. A task that even he can't complete. This must be a fake. Even Uncle can't complete this century. Wang Nuozo, task. Isn't this task too difficult? Really? Didn't expect you to be able to finish it. Makarov said. Sorry, I shamed the guild. Geer Darth replied. Makarov directly shook his head and denied. Don't think too much. You are already very good. As far as I know, you are the first person who can return safely from this mission, which is enough to show your strength. Well, I want to take a break. I'll go back first. Geer Darth laughed, and didn't say much here. Before leaving, I took a look at Dino, and there was deep thought in his eyes, which seemed to be strange to Dino's strength. And Dino yawned and fell asleep on the table. No way. If he doesn't sleep again, he will not be able to hold back the magic power that is stirring in his body. Geer Darth is really super strong. The most powerful sorcerer he has ever seen. But don't worry. If Dino remembers correctly, he is about to head to the world of Edolas. The matter of Geer Darth will be put later. Let's deal with the other world first. Chapter 84. Cute little Wendy kisses you for this golden guild this day. The rain murmured, and the torrent-like rain fell from the sky. Wet the streets. It landed on the houses, and from a distance it seemed that the houses were wearing a layer of raincoats. The weather was muggy. Everyone in the guild was in a deep sleep and couldn't get up. It's raining really hard. Such heavy rain also feels very boring and panic, and I can't get my spirits up to work. Levy and Lucy sat and danced boredly together. Juvia sat beside Dino and looked at him sideways, chin resting. Wendy and Carla and Dan and Happy went out and didn't know what to do. Carla was still dizzy from drinking the wine. Speaking of which, Dino, why didn't you sleep today? Do you think it's depressing to sleep in this weather? Lucy asked. Dino, however, shook his head with a smile on his face. He reached out and took out a pair of cards from his body and said leisurely, as soon as I divination, something very interesting will happen, and if I go to sleep, maybe I will miss it or maybe I will miss it. Really? I don't know what it is. Lucy was curious. Brother Dino, I heard that you have a lot of celestial spirit keys in your hand. Suddenly thinking of something, 700 King also patted her face. Dino raised an eyebrow and nodded. The man of the Erashian Say's code-named Angel has 3 zodiac signs in his hand, and a Virgo celestial spirit. It's a bit of a shame to think about the celestial spirit magic. Dino too. He owns the zodiac sign celestial spirit, but he can't use the zodiac sign. It's obviously celestial spirit magic, but it just feels ridiculous. All the celestial spirit keys in his hand so far have been hidden away. Brother Dino, you are so strong and you don't need to use such a weak celestial spirit. Why don't you leave it to me? You can say a few small conditions. Lucy winked. Dino's big white teeth leaked out with a smile on his face. The celestial spirit key can still be used by you, but let's talk about it. It's just for you, and you have to give it to me if I want it in the future, you know? Dino responded. In fact, the celestial spirit key is also good for Lucy. The main thing is that he often goes to Lucy's house to rest these days. It's really not good for Bai Zhang to be so shameless all the time. In addition, the strength of the 12 constellations is too weak, and there is no improvement in his strength at all. Really? I knew you were the best, brother landlord. Lucy was overjoyed. She didn't expect it to be so smooth, and for a while she felt that it would be more generous for brother Dino to go to sleep at his own house in the future. Yeah, this landlord brother. It works well. I like it very much. Dino happily stretched out his hand and threw it to him. Then count the time. Lucy's contract started immediately after he got a celestial spirit key. Dino watched silently. Especially Lucy's little face is really handsome. Outside, heavily clouded. The air was sultry and hot, which made many people quite bored. In the sky, the dark clouds struck, forming a swirling eye of the typhoon suspended above the guild. The whole sky is darkened. The wind howled. The blackness of the sky was swept away by the eye of the typhoon, and a huge change appeared in the entire sky. The rain continued to fall. With a whistling like wind, a black hole appeared in the middle of the eye of the typhoon. At this time, the entire guild building was absorbed by the twisted suction. Disappear before your eyes when you want. The entire Magnolia town turned into nothingness. Unknown bubbles floated up one by one, and the endless plain was devoid of any human breath. Buildings, humans, stone bricks, everything is reduced to nothingness. Wendy couldn't let go of the city that disappeared. How could the whole city disappear? Wendy's eyes were full of despair, with a strong look of shock. Is anyone here? In the end, what happened? Someone, huh? Why am I the only one here? Wendy slumped to the ground. Eyes filled with mist, murmurs and loneliness abounded. The city and the guild have disappeared. Why is it only me? Suddenly, Wendy's eyes were shrouded in shadows. Sitting cross-legged on a blanket, Dino floats slowly. Cute little Wendy, meow. Are you looking for this gold guild, this silver guild, or this fairy tale guild? Dino asked. 3 different colored guild sharpeners floating in front of him. Brother Dino, the guild and the city have disappeared. I thought I would never see you again. Wendy was crying. Dino grinned and got off the blanket, touching Wendy's little head and grinning. Relax, everyone didn't disappear, just went to a mysterious place, Dino said. At this time, a large bag bulged in the ground beside him. Wendy took Dino's hand and looked over there a little scared. Puff. Natsu emerged from the ground and looked around in confusion. What's going on here? Wendy immediately shouted. Natsu, you were also left behind. Natsu stood up and scratched his head, feeling very strange. What was left? Where is this place? Why did it change when I slept? How about everyone? Dino immediately introduced the 2 of them. We were where the guild resided, and it was just absorbed into another world by a super warp magic called Anima, Dino said. What? Another world? Dino, are you sleepy? Natsu was shocked. Immediately stepped forward and touched Dino's head to help take the temperature. However, Dino rolled his eyes. Go. Let Carla tell you specifically that only Dragon Slayer is left, and the next task for you 2 is to let Happy and Carla fly you up, and then you can go to another world to rescue Edolas partners. Correct. At this time Carla and Anne and Happy also flew from a distance. I'm from the Edolas parallel world, so should Anne and Happy, Carla said. Then Dino just shook his head. You're wrong about this, although Anne and you're of the same race, they didn't come from another world. Carla raised her pretty eyebrows. She wanted to refute, but she also knew that 80% of Dino wouldn't believe it. However, Dino explained directly. Anne was made by me, and it is completely different from you. For example, she can use dressing magic, transformation magic, wing magic and other types of magic. Your Edolas kittens will not do this kind of magic. Carla was silent. If you think about it, it is true, although Anne is very cute but also super strong. Okay, no more nonsense, you go over there. I'm going to find other people, especially Gajeel. He doesn't have a cat. Dino didn't explain anymore. He waved his hand, sat on the blanket, held Anne and left, drifting towards other places. Here Carla and Happy briefly explained to Natsu and Wendy. He also took 2 people and flew towards the passage that had not completely disappeared in the air. Chapter 85, Stupid Gajeel Kiss. Dino, am I made by you? When going to look for others, Anne sat in her arms and asked. No, the specific explanation is not clear, but I can be sure that you did not come from Edolas, and the time is not correct, Dino said. Anne nodded her head and thought it made sense. Soon, the 2 of them went to a new place. At this moment, Lucy is also rescued by her celestial spirit. How is it possible? The entire city and guild are absorbed in. Is this true? Lucy asked. Mystigan walked slowly. Yes, another parallel world. The anima developed by Edolas turned the entire city and guild into magic crystals for absorption. At this time, sexy Lucy, yo Mystigan kiss, are you talking about this gold Edolas, or this silver Edolas, or this Edolas with no magic in it? Dino's voice sounded again. The blanket floated from a distance, and Dino had an apparition in front of him. There are 3 phantoms that point to another world. Dino, you didn't even get absorbed. Mystigan was shocked. He knew about the same people in the entire guild, but he couldn't see anything about Dino. At this moment, he was able to stay the same as Lucy, which shows that he is also quite mysterious. In addition, Gel Kiss of a world, I am also a dragon slayer. Of course I can't be absorbed in. Can't you see such a cute Anim? Dino said. Mr. Gun's pupils tightened, and he didn't expect Dino to point out his identity. And Lucy was still a little confused. Can't figure out what's going on here. Open your mouth, Dino whispered, and a weird little pill in his hand jumped into Lucy's mouth. What did you feed me, brother Dino? Lucy asked. It feels a little sweet. Other than that, not much has changed. A pill that allows you to use magic in the world of Edolas, where your mission is to rescue our companions. Right, Mr. Gun? Dino answered. Mr. Gun nodded seriously. His eyes kept on Dino. To be honest, he now felt that Dino was even more mysterious. Let's go. Dino immediately waved his hands together at Lucy. Her whole body flew out and rushed into the passage that had not disappeared. Who the hell are you? How could there be such a thing? Mr. Gun was curious. The pills that know who they are, and who know the things of another world. No matter how you look at it, you can't be an ordinary person. It's not important. It's not bad for you anyway. I'll go find Gajeel next, and I'll go in after I send him in. Don't delay. See you, Edolas. Dino waved and rushed in the direction of Gajeel. And Mr. Gun didn't ask any further questions, and walked towards other places, intending to finally confirm that no one was there before going in. Far away, in the clearing, Gajeel scratched his head and looked around in a daze. What exactly is going on? Gajeel couldn't understand. A special power had appeared before, and when he woke up, the whole city disappeared. No buildings, no humans, everything is dead silent. Stupid Gajeel Kiss, are you looking for this golden cat, or this silver cat, or this little black cat? At this time, Dino's figure also appeared, holding 3 cat pendants of different colors in his hands. Are you interesting? Gajeel's entire face darkened, looking at the 3 hangers in Dino's hands and getting angry. Murder and kill. I do this on purpose knowing I don't have a kitten. So interesting. Dino grinned, reached out and threw a small bottle directly at him. The passage in the sky is the passage to the parallel world Edolas, and everyone in the entire city is drawn into it and condensed into a magic crystal state. The Dragon Slayer magic can restore the people in the magic crystal, and the contents in the small bottle can be used by people in the other world. Now you, the Dragon Slayer, have a heavy responsibility to rescue them with the hope of the guild. Dino waved his hand like a master. Gajeel's eyebrows. Look at the small bottle in his hand, and then look at the passage in the air, or choose to believe. But how do I get in? Gajeel asked. Dino suddenly revealed an expression of sudden realization. Forget you don't have cat, you can't fly up. Gajeel has a black face. Ask for flowers. Oh, do it on purpose. You absolutely did it on purpose. If I can't beat you, I will beat you. Okay, I'll take you there. Dino smacking his lips. Swipe right hand pointing into the air. Then point to Gajeel for an upward pick action to put Gajeel in. Garpaw. Perfectly bagged. Dino Park yawned a little sleepily. Seeing the passage that was about to disappear, he jumped up and jumped into another world. Looks like Dino is in too. Mr. Gun muttered to himself as he watched Dino fly in. Sweep the city that has disappeared and no longer look for it. Time is waiting for no one. If he delayed any longer, he wouldn't be able to get in. It also flew up and flew towards another world. Edolas. A world that has no magic power and can only fight with items containing magic power. There are the same people in this world. Personality is the exact opposite. The sky is very clear. Islands of different sizes are suspended in midair. Several strangely shaped birds spread their wings and fly in the sky. The river swam upstream as if losing its gravity, and from time to time a fish or two jumped out of it. This is Edolas? Anim looked at the new sky in Dino's arms. His eyes were full of longing. The magic power in this world is really rare. Fortunately, my magic power is strong enough. Otherwise, I will be exhausted after a little fight. Dino murmured. I also wondered if there was another self in this world. Where do you live? Belong to a powerful enemy or a weak inhabitant, or also in the fairy tale guild? However, what makes Dino the most happy is that he can give it a shot in this world. Dino, where are we going now? Anim asked on the blanket. Blankets are magic tools. With the help of Dino's magic power, it naturally won't fall off. Go to the fairy tale guild in this world. Dino made his decision without thinking. He also needs to go to the guild to brush a presence. By the way, wait until Erza the Goblin Hunter shows up and fight her. 0. Chapter 86, Dino, Hugeboy, please die. Dora in the fairy tale guild in the forest. Dino pushed the door and entered. Appeared one of Lucy's 48 exam moves. Turn attack. Don't bully him too much, it's too pitiful. How long are you going to cry? Within the guild. Crowded. No matter which world guild it is, it will always be full of laughter and laughter. Ha ha ha. Dino raised his hand to say hello. Everyone in the guild suddenly stopped arguing. He looked suspiciously at Dino who appeared at the door, and the cat on his head. Hello, everyone from the fairy tale guild of Edolas. I'm Dino from the world of Aslant. Nice to meet you. Dino smiled. With his incomparably handsome face, people suddenly feel a lot more friendly. Dino, your 700 is finally here. Edolas, fairy tale? Could they be from the fairy tale guild in Edolas? Natsu and Wendy and 2 kittens rushed over. Everyone in the guild was very puzzled. Dino began to speak forward to everyone present. That is to say, Natsu is Natsu from another world? Lucy Ashley looked at Natsu. Mature Wendy also set her sights on little Wendy. Alabama, this is really incredible, said Mirror Jane of Edolas. Dino shrugged indifferently, continued to explain some details at the end. Both sides soon accepted this statement. And listener at the back of the guild swept Natsu and hid. You want to go to the capital to save people? Lucy Ashley stared. Royal capital. For them as the Dark Guild, going there is to throw themselves into the trap. Just kidding. Go to the capital to die? As the most terrifying military powerhouse, there will be no return if you go there. No matter what, we can't pass. We don't want to go to the place in the capital. It's absolutely impossible to go to the capital to rescue people, and to go is to die. The members of the guild watched with indifference. For them, there is no difference between going to the capital and sending death. No matter what, it is impossible to agree. The Goblin Hunter is here. Suddenly, the members of the guild rushed in and shouted at everyone. Instantly, countless people are in a mess. Has this place been discovered? The people from the royal army are here to kill us again. Natsu and the others were shocked. Kingdom is the group of people who sent us to Aslant. Are we the enemies of fairy tale? Happy and Carla's eyes widened. There. Lucy Ashley gave an order. Isn't the teleportation magic circle still good? Levy was busy manipulating buttons in front of a machine. It's working now. Damn it, Lucy. The atmosphere was shaking. The air vibrated. In the air outside the guild, a huge animal with a huge rhinoceros horn flying in the sky came slowly. The claws are small and the body is huge. The pair of unicorns on his head is terrifying. The wings born from his back are waving, and the ground is gusty. It's finally here. Dino smiled and stepped outside. He came to the fairy tale guild to wait for Erza of Edolas. What are you doing? It's dangerous outside. Come back quickly. Lucy Ashley over there immediately grabbed Dino's arm and drilled into the guild. Unfortunately, Dino reached out and waved her down. Let's go. My goal has appeared. I hope to get along well when I see you again, Dino said and went out. Outside, the giant flying beast swoops towards Fairy Tale. In an instant, the Fairy Tale Guild immediately used teleportation magic to leave. The huge beast hit the ground, and the ground was broken into the rather large portal. Stone splashes. Dino swayed slightly to avoid the stones. The eagerness to fight within the body is madly impacting. I want to break open the body and explode. Teleport. Well, these fairies escaped really fast. Erza Netwoka sat on the back of the huge beast. Hugeboy, you're here too. Erza Netwoka greeted. Hello. Well, it's a real pity, Goblin Hunter. However, the number of times they can teleport is running out, and it's only a matter of time before they are captured. Hugeboy was talking. At this time, Dino slowly walked out of the woods next to it. In his hand is a large sharp knife with a black scabbard with a demonic pattern. Who are you? On the behemoth, Erza Netwoka immediately raised his arms and pointed at Dino to question. That Hugeboy also held the sword tightly in his hands. Aslant, a member of the Fairy Tale Guild. Dino, hello, Erza of Edolas. Dino introduced. After he came to this world, he let himself go a little. There is absolutely no idea of scheming with others. This will see Erza Netwoka also a little impatient to get his hands on it. Aslant, there are still people who have not been condensed into waste crystals. You are the Dragon Slayer. Both Hugeboy and Erza Netwoka were shocked. The only possibility immediately came to mind. Grasp your weapon and be ready to take Dino down, so to speak. Dino admitted. That Hugeboy looked playful. Are you throwing yourself into the net, or are you planning to take refuge in our Edolas kingdom? You'd better take it easy. The same goes for Erza Netwoka. No matter what the purpose of Dino is, if you encounter it, you must win it, especially the Dragon Slayer in another world. The fourth demonic force of the royal army, Captain, Hugeboy, I'm not interested in you, so please die. Dino looked at the man named Hugeboy and explained it calmly. Oh? You are so arrogant, kid. Hugeboy thought it was ridiculous. He clenched the weapon in his hand and aimed at 0.0 Dino and rushed over. Erza Netwoka watched silently over there. He is also very confident in the strength of Hugeboy. However, mutations happen instantly. When that Hugeboy rushed forward to the banquet, the air shook violently. The entire sky instantly changed color. Erza Netwoka felt a powerful magic. This magic is not even less than those that have been frozen into magic crystals. If this magic can be used by their Edolas, then it is possible to maintain the entire world, and the magic power will be present for 20 or even 30 or 50 years. Hugeboy beware. Erza Netwoka reminded Hugeboy, who rushed forward when needed. Possessing such a powerful magic power must have something to do with that Dino, so when Hugeboy stepped forward, he was going to die. Chapter 87, Dino's Dragonscale Transformation. I haven't killed anyone for a long time. Some of my knives are rusted. Dino misses it very much. The thumb of the big quick knife held in the right hand raised the handguard at the hilt, and a strand of the blade leaked out. Trumpet. However, it was this wisp of blade that instantly burst into an invisible sword glow. Rumbling dash. The tree collapsed, and all the trunks within a certain range were cut off by the invisible sword light and slowly fell down. Ding ding ding. The opposite Hugeboy also responded quite quickly, immediately stretched out his hand and drew his sword, resisting the invisible sword light. Stab. Body back. After being hit by the huge impact force, the ground slid out to a depth of 20 centimeters. The distance of up to 3 meters made Hugeboy's arms tremble. The sharp sword in his hand was cut open with gaps so strong. Erza Netwoka's eyes flashed. The weapon he was holding also emitted bursts of light, as if he was excited to fight against the person in front of him. That Sugboy's face darkened. He shook his numb arm, and saw that the tiger's mouth holding the sharp sword had cracked. It was instantly clear that the mysterious enemy in front of him was not an opponent he could fight against. Help me take him down immediately. Hugeboy knew that this was not the time to be arrogant. Immediately called to Erza Netwoka, asking her to help him fight against the person in front of him. The Goblin Hunter Erza couldn't wait. At this moment, the huge flying beast under him immediately dived towards Dino. That enormous impact force was as ferocious as it would crush the world. Too underestimated. Seeing that Erza, the Goblin Hunter, didn't even plan to fight himself, Dino felt underestimated. Brightness in his eyes. Without saying a word in his right hand, he pulled out his big sharp knife and aimed at that Hugeboy and killed him. Murder pervades the kind of wildness that will shatter everything. Hugeboy only felt like he was facing an awakened ancient beast. Ascension cannot rise up any resistance force. Grit your teeth. The teeth were pressed down violently, and the tip of the tongue was bitten to bleed to stimulate the brain. Respond immediately. The sword stood up to resist this attack. Dino's knife still failed to slash at Hugeboy. Halfway through, he was blocked by Erza, the Goblin Hunter, who switched weapons. Sonic gun? Dino raised his brows lightly, recognizing what kind of weapon the Goblin Hunter Erza was using at the moment. Vacuum gun. Next second, Goblin Hunter Erza switches states again. A powerful impact sprinted out of her gun in an instant, hitting Dino in an instant, and Dino's body floated lightly towards the back. See the strands of hair falling from the front of the forehead. Burst gun. Erza how? The Goblin Hunter did not delay, and leapt into the air with a weapon in his hand high. It once again transforms a firearm with superior explosive power. Since high school, it smashed towards Dino on the ground, with amazing power and great destructive power. Awesome. Sure enough, no matter which world Erza is in, you can't underestimate it. Dino murmured. Raise the big quick knife in your hand above your head. Boom dash. Erza, who was in the state of the burst gun, instantly touched Dino's big sharp knife. The ground is broken. The whole piece of land has been lifted off a layer. The spiderweb-like cracks extend around like a tree map. It will smash into pieces within a radius of 1 kilometer. Dino's entire body was sunk by half a meter, and his calf was slash inserted into the mud, unable to move. I'm just about to unleash the power of the magic gun Cheng gun, can't you? The Goblin Hunter Erza had a faint sneer on her face. Seems to be joking that Dino's strength is so vulnerable. And Dino looked helpless when he saw Erza Netwoka, who was half a meter above him. It looks like I've been underestimated. Dino murmured and put away the weapon in his hand. His arms fell naturally, his head lowered, and he suddenly became very quiet. It was this state that worried Erza, the Goblin Hunter. He took 2 steps back and came to the side of Hugeboy. Hugeboy, are you alright? He asked quickly. Hugeboy shook his head miserably. This man is too fierce. He was crushed by him. I didn't have time to use my rose sword power. Erza Netwoka did not speak. His eyes were silently staring at the lifeless Dino, worried. She doesn't think that this dragon slayer called Dino will stop there. 80% of them still have very scary moves. Buzz, buzzing dash. The air, the earth, the birds and the flowers and trees are all very quiet. Long, the heavy, thumping sound of the heart reaches the eardrums. Earthquake. The clouds above Dino's head were instantly shattered. The air is hot. Below, Dino's body trembled slightly, and his hair moved without wind. If you look closely, you will find that Dino's hair is a few centimeters longer than before. Arms are getting bigger. Destructive muscles explode. The 4 fangs in the mouth protruded, and the air became anxious. An unfathomable magic rises. Ling's Erza and Hugeboy only felt the breath of depression. Long, dong dong. The pounding heart beats faster again. At this time, Dino's head was raised, his eyes were hard-walled, and his arms were covered with dragon scales. There were 2 bulges on the left and right of his forehead, as if something was about to come out. The horned dragon scales up. Roar. The sound of dragon roar resounds through the valley. In that roar, the ground shattered, and the shattered sky shot towards the 2 people in front of him. The wind is raging. The gravel was stirred. Dino's hands are covered with dragon scales and nails protruding. In an instant, it turned into a dragon claw. Come on, let me tear you apart. Dino growled. Sprint on the ground. The ground under your feet is crushed by the force. Blast the hole. When asked, Dino's figure disappeared. Erza, the Goblin Hunter, blocked 700's own weapon in front of him without saying a word. As soon as it was placed, a huge collision returned from the weapon. Poppy. Goblin Hunter Erza flew out backwards, spit out a mouthful of thick blood, knocking down the trees one by one and lashing into the distance. Erza. How could it be? Hugeboy was also surprised to see Erza, who had been beaten and disappeared. This power is too powerful. This overwhelming power is really the strength of Dragon Slayer. If so, wouldn't they be dead? Swallow. His frightened feet were a little weak. I said you can die, then you must die. Dino's heavy tone sounded, and his right hand was aimed at Hugeboy's armor. Stab. The armor that looked as hard as iron was vulnerable to a single blow in Dino's wave, and was torn to shreds in an instant. Dino grabbed Hugeboy's clothes and pulled it in front of him. Woohoo! There. The gigantic behemoth in the sky flew away. In a moment, there was a figure standing on it, looking at this side from a distance. Dino grabs Hugeboy with both hands. Tear it left and right. Wow! Blood is sprayed in front of my eyes. That Kingdom Army's fourth demonic force, Captain Hugeboy, was torn in half alive. Far away. Seeing this, Erza Netwoka immediately drove the beast and fled immediately. Chapter 88, Dino, Edolas Lucy is in great shape. Dino didn't go after him. His body is back. After moving the neck, the body is much more comfortable after turning twice. The first time he used the power of the dragon to transform into a Dragonscale made him somewhat uncomfortable. Fortunately, after using it once, it is a lot easier. The tyrannical mentality in the body that wants to destroy everything is also relieved. Dino, seeing that the battle was over, Anim quickly flew out of the woods and fell on Dino's head. Speaking of which, I always feel that I have forgotten something more important, and I don't know if it is an illusion. Dino reached out a hand. The suspended blanket flew directly to support Dino and flew towards the distance. On it, Dino's brain kept spinning, thinking about what important things he had forgotten. That's right. It took Dino a moment to figure it out. He forgot to give Natsu and Wendy the pills that could use magic in the Edolas world. Looks like I still need to find Natsu and the others. Muttering to himself, he drove the blanket and flew towards the capital. At the same time, the injured Erza Netwoka also drove the behemoth back to the capital of Edolas. Meet people at the General Staff Headquarters. Erza Netwoka, why are you so embarrassed? Isn't Hugeboy with you? Why haven't you seen him come back? Asked by Hughes, the captain of the Royal Army's 3rd Demon War Force. He had never seen Erza so embarrassed. His face was pale and weak, and he seemed to have suffered serious injuries. Erza Netwoka gasped against the wall. Hugeboy dead. Shock. Hugh's brain was buzzing. What? Is Hugeboy dead outside? How is this possible? Their kingdom army is the most powerful. How could the captain of the army lose his life so quickly? It's so fake. Don't be kidding. Hugeboy is the captain of the 4th Demon War Force. How could the members of the fairy tale beat him? Hughes didn't believe it. Erza Netwoka, however, looked uncertain. I want to report the situation to His Majesty. The matter about Dragon Slayer must be considered in the long run. She said. Immediately walked towards the king's palace. Here, with Erza Netwoka returning from an injury, all the top management immediately came to the meeting. Erza, tell me what's going on. How did Hugeboy die in action? King Faust's eyes were full of strong strangeness. The Magic Corps troop is the most powerful, and the strength as a captain is not weak at all. How could it be possible to die outside? Below, the 1st Demon War Force, Captain Pangza Lilly sat straight with his arms crossed. But his face was full of shock. Chief of Staff Bailo also stared at Erza Netwoka for her response. Hugeboy and I went to destroy the Fairy Tale Guild, and when we got there, the entire guild teleported away again, but soon a person popped up from the nearby woods, claiming to be the Fairy Guild Dragon Slayer in the Aslant world. Because our plan requires the magic power of Dragon Slayer, so I attacked together with Hugeboy. In the early stage, the two of us could suppress him, but then dragon scales erupted on the man's face and arms, and his strength increased instantly. The blood that I hit flew out. When I was about to fight again, I saw with my own eyes that Dragon Slayer shredded Hugeboy alive with only his hands. His strength was beyond ordinary, and I ran away directly. Erza Netwoka explains in detail what happened from beginning to end. The voice fell. Everyone present remained silent. Pangza Lilly didn't respond immediately. It was also because the intelligence Erza said was incredible. Your Majesty, I personally think that some changes should be made to the Dragon Slayer plan. If every Dragon Slayer had this kind of power, then we might fail. Erza Netwoka suggested. When needed, King Faust's eyes instantly turned terrifying. A hoarse voice sounded. Notify all the magic troops to attack. This Dragon Slayer is bound to be captured, and our plan must be implemented. Below, the captains of the remaining 3 magic warfare units were speechless. They can't refuse the king's orders at will, they just need to obey the orders. Seeker City. Dino candidly uses magic to divination Natsu's position. Soon locked in a hotel. The wind blows the curtains in front of the window. A person appeared behind the 2 Lucy who had just come out of the bathroom. Put your hands on their waists. The nose twitched slightly. The 2 are really beautiful and generous. Edolas Lucy actually trembled and immediately turned to attack. And Lucy Heartfilia didn't care much. Compared with sleeping at home, Dino is quite restrained at this moment. Yo, Edolas Lucy figure is really good enough. Dino raised his arm to block Lucy Ashley's high whip leg and also smiled. Dino, how did you get here? Can you use magic too? Long time no see. Dino. Natsu and Wendy immediately stood up and greeted with a smile. Haha, You are all right, we will act together in the next time. Dino also politely pulled the two Lucy to the sofa. Talked to Natsu and Wendy from left to right. Hey, how long will the kid take advantage of? Lucy Ashley rolled his eyes and couldn't help muttering. Dino blinked. Edolas Lucy, are you interested in being my girlfriend? I'm more of a fan than Natsu. However, Lucy Ashley rolled his eyes but didn't respond. The two women got up and put on new clothes, came out again, sat down and started thinking about the plan. My idea is to rescue our partner through Gemini's transformation ability. Lucy spoke first. Carla went on to say, I have some maps in my brain about sneaking into the capital, which can be deciphered from the inside. However, Dino shook his head when he heard their plan. Zows. It doesn't need to be so troublesome, just kill it. Dino said. Take the small pills from your body and introduce a small pill to Natsu and Wendy as well as Happy and Wendy. I already had a fight with Erza from Edolas' world in the forest before. Dino said. Lucy Ashley immediately asked curiously, how is the battle? Natsu and others also want to know. Dino shook his head. It's too weak. The captain of the so-called 4th Demon War Force, Hugeboy, was torn to shreds by me, and even Erza was injured internally. If she hadn't run fast, she would have died. In other words, the combat power that can be fought within the kingdom's army has been greatly weakened, and this is a very good opportunity. After arriving at the capital and joining forces with Gajeel, our 4 dragon slayers are enough to smash the magic crystal and free our guild members. Hiss. Shock. Surprise. Lucy Ashley from Edolas didn't expect this Dino to be so powerful. Chapter 89, Enter the Capital. Rescue. Chapter 87 Enter the Little Black House. Everyone, etc. Goblin Hunter Erza Netwoka. This name represents disaster and despair for their fairy tale guild. Now that this guy called Dino was easily injured internally, isn't this really a dream? Research. Okay, all the magic power is back, then it's time to rescue the partner. Natsu's fists collide. A flame burst forth, with a strong fighting spirit in his eyes. I can't wait to rush out and fight that group of people for 300 rounds. Then Lucy of Edolas, I hope you will go back to the fairy guild to persuade the people in the guild. You should know that if you continue to avoid, you will only die in the end. You might as well fight with us. This is an opportunity. Dino looked at Lucy Ashley and ordered. If there is no opinion, I personally still hope to rest early tomorrow and start heading towards the kingdom immediately. Dino said. Lucy and others are naturally no problem. Here is a place to rest quickly. The next day. Unbelievable. What the hell? Early in the morning, Lucy ran out with a note and yelled, Wake up Dino and Natsu in the living room and look over here. What happened? Lucy said angrily, 700 Edolas, I just slipped away and ran away without even saying a word, which is so disappointing. Dino yawned and took the note from his hand and looked at it. Walking eastward for 3 days, you can reach the capital. I'll go back first. I wish you good luck. You don't need anyone to see you off if you want to have magic. Goodbye. The note says Lucy's departure. As for the people who can talk through the guild and can't help, there is no clear answer. Well, it seems that we can't count on them all. Let's also prepare to set off. I can take you there, and you will be able to reach the city of the royal capital in less than half a day. A flame ignited in Dino's hands, burning the note to ashes. To Lucy and Natsu and Wendy, the blanket is also summoned here, ready to go at any time. King's capital. Dino brought people here. The streets were filled with laughter and laughter. Are you here? At this time, Gajeel came out of the alley and came to Dino. I didn't expect you to be quite fast. I thought you would be much slower than us. Dino speaks. Gajeel shook his head. As soon as I appeared, I was nearby. After knowing that this is the capital, I will wait for you to come over. What is the plan and what needs to be done? Just rush over and kill to the innermost. Just rescue our partner. Natsu couldn't wait to smile. I'll just wait for your good news. My celestial spirit magic doesn't work on magic crystals. Lucy refused. She still has a certain amount of her own strength. Knowing that this could become a burden if it really did fight, simply retreat to advance. I want to visit my hometown of Extania and ask questions about my memory, Carla said. Wendy glanced at Carla and nodded quickly. Brother Dino, I'll go with Carla too. I'm more worried about her alone. Here. Dino agreed after listening. Well, Wendy and Carla, let's go to Extania, the hometown of the Transcendents, and as for Gajeel and Natsu, the 3 dragon slayers, just go into the capital. Dino agreed. Carla and Wendy over there also quickly staggered to find their hometown. Dino handed an on his head to Lucy, and looked at the more prosperous place not far away. Let's go. A group of people walked over there. Soon, a huge magic crystal was also seen in that lively place. Is that the waste crystal that our companions turned into? Natsu was startled. This side also rushed forward and started to check. Edolas subjects have the right to share in this magic. Also, only the subjects of Edolas are the holy nation that can continue the future. No one can take the magic from our country. Let's promise. Let's get more magic. This little bit of magic can only be regarded as a piece of garbage. King Faust hit the magic crystal with a scepter in his hand. That appearance did not put the magic crystal in his eyes at all. Below, Dino and the others all looked gloomy. This king is really annoying. Natsu stepped forward and was about to rush to attack. Dino immediately grabbed his clothes and pulled him back. Don't worry, we will do it after the king leaves. Although it is not worth mentioning killing him, We still need to wait for Mr. Gun to appear. Dino patiently persuaded Natsu he couldn't wait to rescue the magic crystal's companion. But now is not the time, just wait a little longer. That magic crystal ... but our companion. Natsu's face was gloomy. The guy who tramples his heart, his life, and wantonly is absolutely unforgivable. Gajeel and Dino pulled Natsu from left to right. Although they were also very angry, they still had to wait for the king to leave. This will rush forward and make things more complicated. The speech continues. The King Faust spoke for a long time, and he finally left. Lucy takes Anim away first, and the fight is left to us. Dino winked at Lucy. The latter also followed Anim to leave here. The entire scene was left with the soldiers guarding under the magic crystal. Get started. Dino smiled and rushed forward to attack the soldiers. Gajeel and Natsu are no exception, and can start fighting immediately. Enemy attack. The soldier immediately summoned other soldiers to rush forward with the weapon, aimed at Dino, and the three of them fought. Dino jumped straight into the air. A grey magic circle appeared in front of him, forming a special rune that spread slowly. Steel Dragon Sword. It appeared with a serrated sword that was stronger and harder than the Iron Dragon Sword. Aiming at the magic crystal is to hit the past. The magic crystal was instantly shrouded in white light, and the entire scene was bathed in it. The magic crystal shrinks, finally fell to the ground to form two figures. These two are Erza and Grey from the Fairy Tale Guild. What's going on here? What happened here? Both Erza and Grey opened their eyes and looked around in confusion. They also saw Gajeel and Natsu, who were still fighting in the crowd. Kiss, don't say anything unnecessary, kill it first and then talk about it. Dino smiled and threw two small pills into their mouths. Erza and Grey naturally had no problem, and they immediately started attacking the surrounding soldiers with magic. Natsu, Gajeel, get out first. Dino gave orders to the cheerful Gajeel and Natsu, who were playing over there. Although very reluctant, but still obediently rushed out of the encirclement. Evacuate the scene. Chapter 90, Erza and Erza Collision. At the same time, Wang Guojun and others also immediately received the news that someone had taken the magic crystal away. Ponce Lilly, the captain of the 1st Demon Warfare Unit, held his weapon and planned to attack, looking for the enemy to capture them, etc. Erza Netwoka immediately drank possirily when he heard it. The soldier who looked forward to report the situation also asked, "Do you know the appearance of the attacker?" The soldier recalled. One of them was a boy with Sirius-colored hair who used fire to attack, another wearing iron armor who used iron to attack, and another who was in charge of attacking the magic crystal, who was very handsome, and he also used iron. His long, heart beating fast. Erza Netwoka understood immediately that handsome guy is definitely the Dragon Slayer I met before, Dino. In other words, 3 Dragon Slayers are likely to attack this time, and our soldiers will be vulnerable. She said, "Immediately turn around and report to the king." She still has palpitations. Although the other Dragon Slayers don't know, the familiar guy is really super strong. Her strong heart has to admit that the one called Dino is stronger than herself. Needless to say, this is our chance. Immediately dispatched all to capture the Dragon Slayer. King Faust had appeared behind everyone at an unknown time, with terrifying, ambitious eyes. He gave an order immediately. Erza Netwoka immediately obeyed. Since the king planned so, then the only way is to fight hard. That Ponce Lilly was not afraid. Furthermore, Hughes, the captain of the 3rd unit of the Demon War Force, also directly agreed to fight. King Faust looked at the soldiers beside him and said again, "Go and prepare Doloma Anim." Soldiers were sweating. That is taboo. Article 23 of the Kingdom Charter. King Faust roared with bloodshot eyes, "Get ready." The soldiers did not dare to object. Go and prepare this forbidden item immediately. Inside a house in the capital. In other words, our entire guild, and even the entire city, was absorbed into this world by Anima and became a magic crystal. Erza in the guild sat in front of him and repeated Dino's words. "I really didn't expect that Mr. Gun is the prince of this world, and has the same face as Gajeel. I'm afraid no one in the guild can think of it. Grey is also different. The mysterious Mr. Gun has the same face as Myril, and also the prince in this Edolas world, which is really scary. Our next task is to fly over the kingdom and smash the huge magic crystal, or wait for Mr. Gun to help send the magic crystal back, which is a tug of war," Dino said. Gajeel smiled, "Then make a scene." Natsu can't wait to punch too. Immediately. He also wanted to go to the battlefield and fight the enemy immediately. "Well, as far as I know, there is a woman named Erza Netwoka in the royal army. I originally wanted to fight, but now that Erza is awake, I will hand it over to you. In addition, there is a cat named Ponce Lilly in the royal army, which is very strong in combat, but Gajeel can try it. Maybe he can make it your cat. There is another guy named Hughes. Natsu, let's fight." Grey, I, and Lucy's main task is to contain the soldiers of the royal army. Don't let them encircle and suppress them, and then wait for Mr. Gun to help him send the magic crystal back. Dino laid out this task in a clear way. Make sure everyone has opponents to fight. In fact, these so-called enemies, even if they are handed over to Dino, are easy to deal with. But now his interest is not so great. In this Edolas world, The most powerful enemies are the captains of the kingdom's army. Erza Netwoka was brought down by him, and the remaining captains had little interest. Simply hand it over to Natsu and the others. Just watch the battle to see if there are any other powerful guys. Okay, so let's get started. Erza from the guild was very curious when he heard that there was an enemy like him, so he accepted it without saying a word. Other people naturally have no opinion. After commanding his opponent, Dino temporarily lent Erza and Gajeel the blanket so they could fight in the air. The battle is imminent. Dino, Gray and Lucy rushed directly into the soldiers of the kingdom's army to start a massacre. Erza from the guild and Erza the Goblin Hunter also met for the first time. My name is Erza Scarlet, a member of the Fairy Tale Guild. Looking at the opponent who is exactly the same as him, Erza is also full of fighting spirit and volunteers to sign up. My name is Erza Netwoka, the captain of the second demon army of the Royal Army, known as the Goblin Hunter. Done. The two immediately changed their clothes in the air and started fighting. Ask for flowers. On the small island of the huge magic crystal, Gajeel was also very curious when he looked at the opposite Pangza Lilly, and he immediately rushed to fight. The same goes for Natsu and opponents. The air battles were triggered one after another, and the soldiers of the royal army below were miserable. Regardless of whether Dino or Gray, the strength is quite powerful, and these people are defeated. The battle is deadlocked. The people in the air were fighting back and forth, and Dino glanced at it from time to time and nodded with satisfaction. Erza is still very interesting to Erza. Rumbling dash. At this time, the huge magic crystal suspended island bloomed with radiance, bathed the entire island in light. Suddenly, a violent explosion sounded. I saw that the magic crystal island disappeared. Why did the magic crystal suddenly disappear? Looking at the vacant pit, Ponce Lilly asked in shock. The spent crystal was sent back to Aslant. When needed, Mr. Gun flew from a distance with a strange bird and swept over the people present to answer. Mr. Gun, Erza and Gajeel are recognizable people. Mr. Gun apologized. Sorry for being late, I'm off to find the remnants of the giant anima that can restore everything. Also, I want to thank everyone. Without you, I wouldn't be able to catch up. Erza and Gajeel also leaked smiling faces. The expression is also obviously relaxed. So then only the last few enemies are left. Carla. At this time, Erza Netwoka attacked and swore, it's not over yet. Immediately fight Erza in the guild again. Erza Netwoka, I command you as Prince Edolas to lay down your arms and surrender. Mr. Gun lifted the veil covering his face and ordered Erza, the Goblin Hunter. Erza the Goblin Hunter stopped frowning. I don't think of you as a son. Suddenly, the voice sounded. It was the voice of King Edolas Faust. You haven't heard from you for 7 years, and now you still have the face to come back. Don't think I don't know about you stopping the anima from absorbing magic power in Asland, you traitor. Voices came from all directions. Everyone is vigilantly looking for the source of the sound. 0. Chapter 91, The Power of the Black Sky of Doloma. Anim. Where did his voice come from? Hey, the guy who hides his head and shows his tail will show up soon. Natsu and Gajeel were full of confusion and shouted round. Mr. Gun hovered silently over the strange bird. Your anima plan has failed. There's no point in fighting anymore, right? King Faust's voice sounded again. Meaning? The meaning of fighting? Below, a huge mechanical dragon claw stepped on the ground. This is not a fight. It's revenge for your offending this king. This is a one-sided massacre. When needed, both Gray and Lucy on the ground and those in the air were shocked. Then, what is that? Mr. Gun has a cold sweat on his face. Father. A huge mechanical armor stood on the ground. I am not your father, but the king of Edolas. By the way, as long as you are solved here, no one can hinder anima in Aslant. 703. At that time, I can create a huge magic crystal without restriction and fuse it with a transcendence. The dragon roared violently. The storm swept around, and many soldiers who were blown out. Ha 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 ha. The power of the king is omnipotent. King Faust laughed madly like a maniac. I am the strongest. The dragon-like machine roared, and the king swore an oath in it. Doloma Anim. At this time, a group of transcendental cats that just flew out of Extania murmured in horror when they saw the mechanical dragon below. Mr. Gun's face was startled. Dora Anim. That means Dragon Knight. He actually used the dragon's reinforced armor. Dragon, Natsu and Wendy, who just flew out, and Gajeel are all looking down. It does look like a dragon. What is reinforced armor? Wendy and Natsu speak. Mr. Gun explained. It's a ride-on armor that uses anti-magic special magic crystals, which is immune to all magical attacks from outside. Below, King Faust gave the order. My soldiers, capture all the transcenders. Yes. A group of soldiers immediately took orders. Under the leadership of Erza Netwoka, launch an arrest attack on the group of transcendental cats. Flee. It will turn into a magic crystal after being hit. The transcendents fled. The soldiers behind him took a strange creature, Region, and chased after him. We protect the transcender from the king's army. Go after Netwoka and the others now. Erza of the guild gave an order, and this side immediately controlled the blanket to chase over there. I won't spare any human being. You all die here for me. Below, King Faust manipulated the Dragon Knight to grow his mouth. A huge magic circle appeared in front of him in an instant, brewing powerful moves. You all disappear for me. Gah! A powerful beam attack shot out from the mouth of the Dragon Knight, aiming at the person in the air and hitting him. That's amazing. Once hit, it will definitely be instantly wiped out in front of you. At this time, suddenly, a figure appeared in front of the beam attack. A magic circle blooms in front of him, and it needs to meet with the beam of light. The beam of light collided with a pair of magic formations that suddenly appeared. As a result, the beam of light actually split slowly, turning into a little bit of starlight and disappearing directly in front of the eyes. Hey, isn't it kind of bad to beat someone who is good, and you don't take me seriously? It was Dino who came. Erza immediately sighed in relief when he saw the person. The most reassuring thing in the entire guild is Dino. With him, there is no need to worry about it. Boom dash. Haven't waited for King Faust to ask. A huge force fell from the sky and instantly hit the Dragon Knight's neck. Immediately, the entire body of the Dragon Knight sank. What? King Faust was surprised. At this time, the Dragon Knight was hit again under the head. The entire mechanical body was unable to stand firm, and passively stepped back a few steps to avoid falling. Who is it? Who attacked Doloma? Anim? Magic shouldn't work on it. King Faust was shocked. Full of doubts, he asked. At this time, a petite body appeared again in the air. Dragons. Roar. It's Wendy. At this moment, she absorbed the air and immediately released dragon-slaying magic. The Dragon Knight immediately sank and fell to the ground. Next second, more powerful attacks fell straight down in the air. The Flame Dragon King's Collapse Fist. Dino's move fell. The so-called Dragon Knight could no longer stand, and fell to the ground by this blow. The ground burst. A huge portal emerged, and the entire Dragon Knight was knocked down in the portal. It's struggling. Dino fell, and 3 people stood behind him. It is Gajeel, Wendy, and Natsu who are also Dragon Slayer. To deal with things like dragons, we still need our Dragon Slayer. Dino reached out and raised the bangs in front of his forehead. With a playful smile, he looked at the Dragon Knight who was knocked down in the portal in front of him. Don't be complacent, you guys. The Dragon Knight will never be defeated. The mechanical dragon stood up again, with missiles blooming on its body, and launched an attack on Dino and his party. Give me the galloping wind that travels the sky. Give me the power of steel to cut through the sky. Wendy instantly uses the augmented power of the dragon behind her. Here, Dino held his chin and waved while thinking. Galloping it. The power of steel arms. A time. The double boost fell on Natsu and Gajeel. The strength and speed of the 2 people have increased exponentially, and they can move instantly in the hail of bullets. Dino brother. Wendy's eyes sparkled with little stars. I didn't expect brother Dino to be able to use the sky's boosting power in the same way. Tanlong's ability, I also have it. Just because I'm not very interested in fighting this big guy, it's better to just support like you. Dino shrugged. He now has very high demands on the enemy. This kind of garbage Dragon Knight machine has no way to interest him at all. Just paddling beside it. Natsu and Gajeel fight against the Dragon Knight. The Dragon Knight's missile struck. Dino also dodged the attack by hooking Wendy's weak shoulder. From a distance it looks like it's doing a wonderful dance. Fire burst. Natsu swallowed and sucked. That boundless flame was eaten by Natsu. Gajeel also found a chance to come to the tail of the Dragon Knight. Karma drank a few and ate iron armor. Damn it. 0.0 In order to obtain eternal magic, I must arrest the 4 people in front of me. No. They're already weapons. Capture them. Although Dora Anim will be somewhat damaged by doing so, it is unavoidable. King Faust muttered to himself among the Dragon Knights. First of all, let you lose your fighting spirit. Just taste the power of the black sky of Doloma Anim. Suddenly, the silver-white appearance of the Dragon Knight instantly turned into a dark tone. The earth is shaking. The air can't help but scream. The stones on the ground were suspended in shock by this powerful magic. Everything around is shaking. Dino couldn't help but look at the discolored Doloma Anim in front of him, somewhat concerned. The pressure is really strong. After all, it is a taboo-level weapon that guards a country, and it is truly extraordinary. Chapter 92, The Flame Dragon King's Roar. The sudden change made Gajeel and Natsu, who had the upper hand, lose in an instant. In that heavy attack can only passively dodge. Doloma Anim Hushin. But the special armor that can increase the magic output several times, you have no chance of winning. Magical release. The magic power that increased several times instantly knocked Natsu and Gajeel to the ground. The ground burst. The surroundings were a mess, and the originally flat ground was broken open one by one. Gravel all over. Broken like hell. People here suffer from no magic, and you, the king, have so much magic. Natsu struggled to his feet. His eyes looked at the huge Dragon Knight with firm conviction. Although the Dragon Knight is very powerful, Natsu has no idea of evasion. The king taxed the people as a matter of course. King Faust fiercely looked through the interior of the Dragon Knight and looked at Natsu, who was clearly unable to stand in front of him. Dora Anim has been absorbing the magic of the world. It is the ultimate 16 magic weapon. That's why it's disabled. So as long as it's on, it means I have to win. It's all for the world. Puff. At this time Dino couldn't help laughing out loud. What are you talking about for the world? People like you take away the magic power of others without authorization, and you have the face to say such shameless words. With a sarcastic smile, He looked at the huge dragon knight in front of him and laughed. It's time to end. Dino stepped forward, in front of Gajeel and Natsu. After reaching out and waving, the two of them were also carried by the breeze and retreated back to Wendy's side. Dino, you guy. Gajeel and Natsu tried desperately to get up. Okay, you have worked hard enough. Leave the rest of the battlefield to me. Dino waved his hand around it. The wind is quiet. Everything stops. It seems that the whole world is quiet for Dino. What does it feel like? Natsu felt everything around him and felt a little weird. Gajeel swallowed. He felt a slowly rising magic power. This power seems to be waking up, and even if it is recovering, it still shows a powerful potential. Dino brother. Wendy also noticed. And opposite, King Faust also immediately understood who the person in front of him was. Little brat, you are the dragon slayer who defeated Erza Netwoka. Are you going to die now? Immediately after speaking, he controlled the dragon knight to raise his claws and swept Dino horizontally. The steel claws cut through the space, and the sharp claws made the three of Gajeel worried. Addicted to dash. Claws are coming. I saw Dino lift his right arm to his side. The powerful claws were actually blocked by an arm. Storm blows. Dino's hair moves without the wind, but his body stands upright. Standing the motionless you. The body swelled, and the muscles in the arms and arms exploded. Clothes are also directly propped up. Between the hands, sharp nails grew from the fingertips, and lines like dragon scales appeared on the arms. Flame burns. Dino's whole body was bathed in fiery flames. When needed, the palm of the right hand twisted, grabbing the sharp claws of the dragon knight's steel, and the body immediately twisted. I saw that the dragon knight's entire body was driven. How is this possible? King Faust was amazed. That little man could lift the entire huge dragon knight with one hand. Dino's body was spinning, and even the huge dragon knight was being rotated. Sharply, Dino smashed the giant dragon rider to the ground. Rumbling dash, blast. The whole land trembled, and the air screamed and cracked. The gravel is crushed on the ground. Leap in all directions, pierce through the buildings and turn the surrounding land into ruins. No. Absolutely will not lose. Definitely not. King Faust roared. Control the dragon knight to stand up and spread the distance. The big mouth sucks all the air around. Absorb more magic power. The sky is ringing. The earth. Concentrate all the magic power on Doloma Anim. Faust roared. The little magic power left in the whole world rushed towards him again. However, Dino wouldn't give him that chance. The flames on his body were violent, and a fiery flame was flowing from the corner of his mouth, and the flame seemed to burn the air. The temperature around the whole person rose rapidly. The air is hot. Dino's eyes were like long Yui. In front of him, a high fiery red magic circle appeared. The magic circle was scorched and twisted by the fiery flames. The earth is boiling. Everything around him gathered before Dino's eyes. The flame dragon kings, roar. Dino took a deep breath. Flames enough to scorch the air were spewed out in an instant. The raging fire burned everything, and the ground was smashed into a 1-meter deep ravine by the breath of the huge flame. Rolling red flames are coming. King Faust looked at the flames that filled the sky, and suddenly found a fiery red dragon looming. Yell at him. The air was scorched, and the entire steel-like dragon knight began to melt. All buttons are disabled. It's as hot as a steamer inside. King Faust was having trouble breathing. He opened his mouth to speak, but the scorching flames made him unable to say a word. Bang one. The explosion sounded. The entire dragon knight burned in this raging flame. The air twists. The place where the dragon knight stood, erupted into an abyss-like hole. It was like an upside-down 703 bowl, and a big explosion occurred in an instant. Sweep. Violent fluctuations swept around. Destroy everything. Building after building is smashed, rubble flying. The sky was buried in smoke. The battle is over. Dino jumped out without looking at it. Controlled wind magic and rushed into the woods to find Lucy and Anim. Gajeel was sweating coldly on his forehead. Then Dino's strength is even stronger, especially when he blocked the dragon knight with one hand at the end. The breath and power brewing in the whole person were not even weaker than a giant dragon. How can this be? He is too powerful. Gajeel gritted his teeth. Horrible, pretty scary guy. That Dino seems to be able to handle it with ease. And this guy's strength is beyond imagination. So strong. I'm burning. Natsu lay on the ground with a wild laugh on his face. Wendy also smiled and wiped the non-existent sweat from his forehead and fell to the ground to rest. Although she was not injured under the protection of Brother Dino, but the magic power and additional magic she used before also left her body a little empty, so she should have a good rest. Brother Dino is really the strongest. Wendy also had a happy smile on her face after thinking of Dino's figure. It's nice to have Brother Dino beside me. There is no need to worry about any enemy they can't beat. Brother Dino is always a solid backing. Chapter 93. Fairy Tales Farewell Party. In the woods in the distance, Erza is still in the final battle with Erza. Lucy and Grey face off against the innumerable armies of the Mage Wars. Why are they only attacking Happy and Carla and Anne and turning a blind eye to us? Lucy controls the celestial spirit and fights the incoming people. Even so, they found that the group's goals always seem to be Happy and Carla. Only the three of you are left, and you can become the magic power in this world. Arrest they. The soldiers of the Demon War Force said. One by one, They desperately attacked the 3 kittens in front of them. Gray and Lucy both had black faces. They didn't expect this group of people to have such a purpose, and they immediately felt very angry. Wow, Tilda. Lucy and Gray are only 2 people after all, and it is impossible to fight against the army of a huge number of magic war troops. If this goes on, everyone will die. There were tears in Carla's eyes, weeping, pleading, "Who will save us?" Air region rammed downwards. It's like bumping into Lucy and the others. Suddenly, a small sapling was extruded from the ground. The sapling grew in an instant. The tree broke out of the ground and directly tied the strange beast region. What is this? The tree is actually moving. The people around were dumbfounded, watching the tree trunks slam the region one by one onto the ground. The trunk of the tree trunk grows again. A huge tree broke out of the ground and grew. Difficult, is it? Those who have been running away. The soldiers of the demon war force could not believe it. The pattern on the trunk was pulled out immediately, and the pattern looked like a fairy. It's not very domineering, but it is supreme glory. They are Fairy Tail Guild. Go. We won't keep running away. Let them see the power of bonds between companions. Go on, defeat the royal army. The members of the Fairy Tail Guild rushed out of it, holding various magic weapons in their hands and rushing towards the kingdom army. Sorry, we're late as Lucy. Lucy Ashley raised his waist and looked at Lucy, who fell to the ground, and smiled. Look, Carla. The members of Fairy Tail are here to rescue us. Happy laughed. Carla lay on the ground smiling. No matter where it is, the guild is so lively. Soldier giant horse. Weapon and weapon collision. The battle between the guild and the royal army. It happens constantly in this forest. No one admits defeat. No one admits defeat. In the shadows of tree trunks, Dino beckoned, pulled in and over and stroked her little head and closed his eyes. It seems that it is no longer the same time and space as the surrounding slapstick. The battle is over. A murmur came from Dino's mouth. The fight continues. Neither side conceded defeat, and the war was imminent. Earthquakes. Everyone's eyes turned to the sky in unison. The floating islands are falling towards the ground. What's going on? Yeah. The sky is falling apart. The floating island of Edolas floats up by the magic of this world, and the island is now falling. Which means magic is disappearing from this world. The island fell to the ground and smashed the buildings one by one, and everyone panicked. The inhabitants and soldiers living in this world were terrified. The magic in the air and in the weapons is overflowing. Whoa. Magic weapons suddenly can't be used. Our magic weapons are no longer usable. The magic weapon is broken. The soldiers waved their weapons in fear. Despair. All kinds of negative emotions fill the body and mind of all people. They hugged and cried. Tears watched the dissipated magic power, and countless magic props were useless. Everything disappeared. The citizens were in chaos, and fleeing became the first place in everyone's arrangement. Dino brings Lucy and Wendy to Natsu's side. Looking at the falling islands in the sky are overwhelmed. The world has lost its magic, and now needs a wise king to lead the world forward. Dino said. Wendy and others all looked at Dino. What are your thoughts and plans? Gajeel wasn't a fool after all, and soon realized that Dino had a new idea. Immediately look over and ask. Now we need a great devil to appear, destroy the city, burn, kill and loot. Let the person who is about to become the king suppress everything and appease the people. Dino speaks his mind. Suddenly, Natsu stood up and laughed wildly. Looks like it's time for me, the great demon king Dragonscale, to appear. As he spoke, he ran towards a tall building, and Dino continued to look at Gajeel in front of him, and the meaning was self-evident. What a joke. How could I possibly do those things? Gajeel's face was very red, yet Dino just stared at him motionless. Gajeel was very uncomfortable to watch, and rushed out cursing. Damn, we need to clean up this mess. However, Wendy and Lucy were both a little numb from Dino's eyes. At last, under the leadership of the great demon king Natsu, a group of younger brothers burned, killed and looted in the city. Stop Natsu. Mr. Gun appeared as soon as he got the news. Natsu leaked a beating expression and immediately said, "Can you stop this king?" Prince of Edolas' lower state. The people of the country suddenly rang. One by one, the prince was noisily asking the prince to take them to defeat the demon. The battle is imminent. Mr. Gun rushed up. Idiot, since it's a show, you should just fall down. Natsu grinned. I don't want it. This is the fairy tale farewell party we gave you. Bang dash. Natsu hits hard. Mr. Gun's heart skipped a beat. Glancing at a safe place, Zhao's Hao, Nuo touched Anin in his arms and watched the scene with a smile. Also, I have to tell you the 3 rules you must follow to get out of Fairy Tale. Natsu continued his punches. A punch hit Mr. Gun in the stomach. First, you must not leak information that is not good for Fairy Tale in your life. The Mr. Gun ninja attacked in pain. Second, what's going on? Natsu gets punched. Mr. Gun's grim reminder, do not engage with past clients without authorization for personal gain. Natsu clenched his fists. Third, even if the path is different, you must live strong at all times. The two said in unison. Never underestimate your own life, and never forget your beloved friend. Natsu fell. At this moment, people with magical powers began to shine. Absorbed by anima, all transcendents and those with magic within them fly towards the passage. Chapter 94. It was a snowy night. The rain was still falling. There was peace in the guild monument. I'm back. There was a knock at the door, and Natsu and the others came back from outside. And she was caught by the guild and complained about him again. Then Natsu fights with the guild members again. Blah blah blah. Tables, chairs and benches were thrown out. Puff. In front of a seat, Dino slept on the table. The stool that was used for the fight also fell on him. Noticing that someone was fighting, he opened his eyes, stretched out and slowly got up, and came to Listener. Kiss Mira Jane's sister. Hello, I'm your brother-in-law. Welcome back. Hey. Listener was shocked and looked at her sister Mira Jane. The latter laughed. Alara, Dino just joined the guild 2 years ago. A super strong kiss. Hey. Sister Mila didn't refuse, didn't she say? Listener suddenly noticed some signs. Immediately put on a face of gossip. He looked at Dino and asked, Brother Dino, how did you catch up with Sister Mila? Mira Jane starts her way to job with a smile. As for Listener's thoughts, she didn't explain too much. In fact, she could see the difference between Dino and herself. However, because of Listener's affairs, I never dared to think positively about my future partner. Now that Listener is back, you can try to get in touch. It was a snowy night. Dino looked up at the sky. 45 degrees. With 3 points of 707 flavor, 3 points of desolation, 3 points of vicissitudes and 1 point of fastness on his face, he began to explain his story with Mira Jane. At this time, hey, Fire Dragon, little girl. Dino, let your blue and white cats compete with mine, Gajeel shouted at Natsu and Wendy and Dino, a face full of interest. I really want to try it out. Me, you're also being watched by the awesome guy, Lucy complained to Wendy. Natsu clenched his fists and responded, it's exactly what I want. I don't want it, Happy retorted. Dino's eyes flickered, and his eyes stopped for a moment on Anin, who was drinking pot of milk. Anin, come on, pick up their 3 kittens. So you have 3 little brothers? Dino yelled at Anin immediately. Hey? Anin looked up at Dino with a cute look. His eyes flashed, and he seemed to find it very interesting. Don't blame me for not telling, Bka. You, my Lilly is truly the strongest. Gajeel and Natsu face off. Happy is a real cat too, you bastard. Natsu fights back. Happy immediately popped out and refused. I said I seem to have been killed in seconds. There was a smile on Carla's face. It's really worthless. It's a shame to give up before you fight. Happy is shrewd all over. Carla is very optimistic about me. Ponce Lilly over there immediately lifted the fleshy cat. Forget it. Don't look at me like this. I'm a division head over there. Meaningless fights will only make you. Not waiting for Ponce Lilly to finish speaking, there was a sudden sound of sword light in the air. Everyone is watching. I saw that Anin, who was still drinking pots of milk before, had changed into a pair of armor with wings. 7 or 8 sharp swords behind him formed a circular posture, aiming at Happy and Ponce Lilly. This is the armor of heaven. How could Erza's armor of heaven appear on Anin? No. How could a cat as small as Anin have such a huge amount of magic power to drive dress-up magic? I went, and suddenly I felt that Anin was not only cute and warm. The members of the guild were all surprised. They always thought that the cats in the guild were just cute. Results now? I always feel that Dino's Anin seems to be stronger than many people in the guild. Kiss. Anin is going to fight, and the opponent is Ponce Lilly. In this case, it is a bit difficult for Anin to win. At this time, Erza was eating sweet cake and analyzing this scene. What? Miss Erza, are you sure you're right? Can Anin be able to beat Ponce Lilly? Lucy's eyes were full of intense shock. She seemed to have heard something very good. Over there, Levy's eyes also sparkled. Gajeel is disdainful. Go on, Lilly, beat her. How can you lose to a Sawazabor? Go. I support you. Here Dino stepped forward with a smile, looking at Gajeel quite arrogantly. It's not that I'm targeting you, I'm saying that all the cats here are younger brothers fight with disobedience. Anin's face flushed. However, she didn't refute it. She felt that what Dino said about bringing 2 little brothers was fine. I want to try it. Ponce Lilly looked at Anin and was also very tempted. Cough cough, it's a fight. It's time to decide who is the strongest cat in our guild. I'll press Happy. Ha ha ha. I press Anin. If I press my prophet, I will definitely win. The guild was very lively again. A lot of people started betting. Carla, on the other hand, was helpless. She really didn't want to fight, but now she was obviously not given a chance to refute. Come on, I'll hit you 3 cats, and the one who loses is called my sister. Break. Strong arrogance. Make Anin even more red-faced, let alone, such Anin is also full of domineering. Ha ha ha, since that's the case, let's go outside and find a venue to play a game. Dino laughed. Here, Anin went out first. Ponce Lilly and Gajeel followed, while Happy and Carla were a little reluctant. After all, they are both really good. Carla, come on. Wendy's eyes also flickered, and she looked at Carla with great interest. The latter took a breath and had to fly out. After thinking about it, she has such a good relationship with Anin, so she shouldn't be too serious, right? And Natsu was even more excited. Cough cough. Happy, come on. Beat them and you will be the boss. Happy looked reluctant. Still flying out here. It's the first time a cat fight has ever happened. So everyone in the guild is also quite interested. As I said, I'll fight the 3 of you, Ponce Lilly, Happy, and Carla. Let's be my opponents together. Anin's face was slightly raised. The pot of milk that she just ate also made Anin's mouth still a little wet. On the opposite side, Ponce Lilly was not careless, and stood with Happy and Carla decisively, ready to attack at any time. The people around are all members of the guild. President Makarov and Geer Darth are here to observe. The little guy Anim is really strong? Geer Darth stood with the president and looked at Anim in the field and asked curiously. It should be well. Anim has been on missions with Erza for the first 2 years, and she should know more. Makarov is not so sure. Just like Dino, if it weren't for this, it would be more active for nearly half a year. I really didn't find that there is a super strong member of Dino in the guild. Erza over there also put on a smile after hearing the words. Ah, yes, Anim is proficient in dress-up magic and transformation magic, among which I prepared the dress-up magic for her, and most of them are similar to mine. Hey, it's a little scary. Geer Darth gasped. Just like that Dino, a horrible little guy. Chapter 95, Anim vs Ponce Lilly, Happy, Carla. In the field. Both sides are ready. Always be ready to attack. I won't be merciful, and I will definitely go all out. As Ponce Lilly said that, his body grew bigger, and a sharp sword was clenched tightly in front of him. Happy took out the fish from the backpack, and also pretended to be serious. And Carla flew up speechlessly. She doesn't really have a fighting style. Transformation middle. Flying armor. With a wave of Anim's little paw, she was surrounded by a magic circle behind her. When it reappeared, the little cat's body was also surrounded by light blue armor. This is the armor that represents speed. Amazing. Anim, is this a perfect replica of Erza's fighting habits? Armor, it's all the same. Elfman over there looked at Anim oddly. Listener next to him was also shocked. I didn't expect Brother Dino's little Anim to be so powerful. Dressing up magic. Alabama looks like Dino, a mysterious and handsome little cutie. Mira Jane also smiled. Next to Wendy, Lucy, Juvia and Kana are also shocked. Changing magic. I never thought that a kitten would even be able to change magic, but to be honest, Anne is so cute in armor. Good daughter Anim, kill the 3 of them and go home and buy you a basin of milk. Woo Juvia also wants to have such a cute girl. Hey, Juvia, don't cry, we're almost overwhelmed. There was an uproar around. Thinking of the dressing magic, Erza was the first thing that appeared, which is enough to see Erza's fame. With such a reputation, it is natural to think that dressing magic is very powerful. So at this moment, Anim's show made everyone look forward to the next game. The battle begins. Jiangxi, Anim's figure with flying armor suddenly disappeared in front of him, and a gust of wind blew. The sound of weapons colliding sounded. Anim has already been in contact with Ponce Lilly, and the weapons in their hands are of different sizes. The small body and the sharp sword are like holding a toothpick. And Ponce Lilly's tall body also has a considerable sense of oppression. Even if there is a big difference in the weapons between the two sides. But the strength is somewhat comparable, and Ponce Lilly was also shocked. He didn't expect that this little guy, Anim, was not weaker than him. You really are amazing. Ponce Lilly was relieved. Before, I was worried that too much force would hurt Anim. Now the collision of this force has also been roughly judged. Although it is weaker than himself, there will not be much difference. Simply full power. At that moment, Anim also felt the pressure. The figure asked immediately. The body armor changed again. Become magic. Xiaonan immediately used transformation magic, and his clothes were also shrouded. A pair of clean little feet on the ground. A figure about the same height as Wendy appeared, with long white hair with double ponytails shawl. Also wearing a dress. The calf is slender and cute. Big ears with long eyelashes, also flickering. Very pleasing to the eye. I went so cute. Hey, Anim is similar to me when she becomes a human being. So cute Anim, she looks even better after her transformation. No way, old man's girlish heart. Lucy and other women were stunned by Anim at the moment. It's so cute. Even Makarov and Geer Darth were not spared, and this appearance really made their hearts go. How can there be such a cute little girl? And Dino can naturally see what the eyes of the people around him are like. Also happy in the heart. Anim's appearance at the moment is the cutest face that has been screened out by the modern internet. The facial features are the best. However, it is inconvenient to become a human being. So most of the time, Anim looks like a kitten, on Dino's head or in his arms. Being human is also easy to cause deep misunderstandings. Good. So cute. Happy was also stunned. Even Carla wasn't immune, to be honest. They were both kind of weird that Anim could be so cute. And Ponce Lilly is the same as an old straight man. There was no fluctuation in his heart at all. And he rushed forward with his weapon and prepared to attack. Anim hurriedly pulled her hands again. Transformation. Armor of black feather. A black armor reappeared, and he collided with Ponce Lilly again with a weapon. Soon, the people in the guild seemed to see a second Erza. Anim, who was in the middle of the battle, was not weaker than Erza at all in changing clothes. Whether it is the use of armor or the speed of changing clothes, it is quite fast. Even the magic has a long history. It seems to be endless. Erza, is Anim your apprentice? It's completely your shadow. The speed and combat effectiveness of this outfit are not much weaker than those of the guild. Makarov was stunned. He felt like he must be dreaming. There is actually such a powerful little guy in the guild. Just like that Dino. If it wasn't for this discussion that Gajeel accidentally mentioned today, I'm afraid I would never have thought that this little guy Anim is so powerful. At the same time, Makarov touched his chin. In this case, The plans and thoughts of the past 2 days may have to be slightly changed. For flowers, oh, I really didn't expect it. Geer Darth was also quite shocked. He never thought that all the little monsters had joined the guild in recent years. Everyone was enthusiastic. One by one, they shouted for the kittens they supported. Among them Gajeel and Natsu refused to let anyone else. Can't wait to jump in immediately to help fight. And in the battlefield, Happy and Carla didn't even want to fight at first. But the people around are too warm. This caused Happy and Carla to fly around pretending to be fighting. Boom dash, front. Another collision. Anim and Lilly also separated again. Both of them are very tired now. The battle just now has also been very intense, but it has not reached the level of life and death. So there is no such thing as having to beat the opponent. Ponce's body turned back into a kitten. And Anim is the same. You win. Seeing that Anim wanted to rush over, Lilly immediately conceded defeat. It is certain that the fight can continue. But there is no need to decide the winner or loser. Simply take the initiative to admit defeat. When Anim heard this, her little face looked up at Happy and Carla. Anim is amazing. I also admit defeat. Well, I also admit defeat. The two kittens didn't participate in the fight at all, but it could be seen that there was no problem with Anim hanging them. Also directly admit defeat. At this moment, Anim wins the final victory. I announced that in the battle of the strongest cat in fairy tale, the winner is Anim. Chairman Makarov also directly announced the situation of the war. The surroundings were suddenly very lively, and Anim also turned around with a smile and flew back to Dino's arms. Ha ha ha, that's amazing. From now on you will be the elder sister of those 3 little guys. Hee hee. Dino hee hee. Anim's face blushed and shrank her head. She was still a little shy. It's amazing. I didn't expect brother Dino and Anim to be so amazing. Wendy also brought Carla over there. Natsu and Gajeel were speechless as they turned around and returned to the guild. Obviously feel very depressed this time. Ha ha ha, it's alright. Alright. Dino was overjoyed. Here, I also decided to go back to my own home comfortably and make some delicious food to entertain Anim. The others didn't say anything. Eating, drinking and having fun again. In front of the counter, President Makarov asked, Geer Darth, you will stay in town for a while. I don't know either. Geer Darth scratched his head and didn't give a definite answer. Chapter 96, S-Class Mage Contestants 19 people. Snow keeps falling. Another half year passed in the blink of an eye. Winter has come and the year is over. Dino pulled Anim, who had turned into a child, and walked towards the guild. Feather-like snowflakes drifted in the air. Anim raised her head and opened her mouth to wait for the snow to fall into her mouth. This slip a little sweet. Anim smacked her lips, savoring the white snow in the sky. Hee hee. In fact, snow has no taste. The ups and downs are just caused by your mood at the moment. Dino dismantles. Anim rolled her eyes and ignored him. The two came to the gate of the guild and saw the members of the guild go out and come back one after another. Work, work. I want to work. I absolutely want to work. Don't stop me. Make way, thank you. Give me a task. I want a task. Let me go to work immediately. One by one, the members of the guild became 77. The members also ran out and came back suddenly. Obviously with a lively appearance. Everyone seems very motivated. Anim looked at the familiar guild members and murmured. Dilo also felt a little strange. Why do these people work so hard? They basically rest in the guild on weekdays. How could they be like this today? Opened the guild door. I saw that the hall was already full of people. Sister, I'm going to do this mission. Hey, bastard. I saw that mission first. Give it to me. Get out of the way, you idiot. The Shadow Gear squad is temporarily disbanded at this time. A group of people crowded at the front desk, reporting to Mirror Jane on the tasks they had done. What's up? Dino stepped forward curiously, sat next to Lucy and asked strangely. Lucy shook his head. I don't know, everyone seems to be very focused on their tasks today. Mirror Jane, who was busy over there, also squinted. Allah, you will know soon. Everyone is working in a hurry, but there are also people who are no different from usual. How could this happen suddenly? What is this? Dino loves eyebrows. He felt strange. Alabama, you'll know tomorrow. What? This is a pot of milk for Anim. Mirror Jane said. Pour milk into a small bowl and place it in front of Anim who has turned into a kitten. There. Levy also stepped forward to play with Anim, but it didn't take long before he did the task again. Speaking of which, there seems to be an event at the end of the year. Dino's brain was spinning rapidly, and he thought about it, and he quickly thought of a possibility. He couldn't help but ask, could it be him? Mirror Jane smiled and nodded. Yes, it's time again. Dino suddenly came out with a look of sudden realization, and if it was it was quite correct. I don't know if he can get selected or not. What? Lucy wondered. Then Dino smiled at her with a mysterious smile. Tomorrow you'll find out. Lucy rolled his eyes. The next day. Today's guild is a little different. The lively guild is full of people, and all the members of the guild are chatting in 2s and 3s. Wow, a lot of people. It seems that all the members of the guild are here. Lucy followed, sitting at a table drinking a drink, muttering while watching the crowded guild. How is this going? Ponce really also felt that the atmosphere today seemed a little different from other times. It is said that the president seems to be announcing 10 important things. Wendy stood. Carla looked disdainful. I'm not interested. There. Natsu also trembled with excitement, looking left and right. There is simply no way to keep quiet enough. Natsu, calm down. Happy to you, Cow. And Gray and the rest of the staff were all excited. Dino yawned, grabbed Carla with a drink, and sat down beside Lucy. Hey, it's this time in the blink of an eye, although I'm not very interested, but after all, there are some signs of infection, Dino said. Carla also sighed and nodded. On the stage, President Makarov appeared, with Erza, Geer Darth and Mira Jane standing beside him. It also seemed to announce 10 important things. President, it's finally here. Hurry up and publish. Who is it today? The guild members urged the president. Cough cough. President Makarov cleared his throat and quieted the guild members. He said, according to the tradition of fairy tale since ancient times, I am now publishing the list of candidates for the S-Class Wizard Upgrade Test. La la tilde. Cheers. The whole guild was filled with laughter and laughter. Everyone was very lively, raising their right hands to the sky and exhaling excited laughter. S-Class Wizard Upgrade Exam? Lucy suddenly said something different. It turned out to be the case. Dino stretched his back and cheered up. This year's S-Rank Mage exam was different from previous years. Dino is most concerned about the dangers he will face this year. This year's exam venue is on Sirius Island. This is the holy land of our guild. President Makarov's eyes are quite serious. What is the test for? Lucy was curious. This is different every year, but it's certainly not easy, because if you pass it, you can become an S-Rank Mage. Levy and Carla also shook their heads in reply. They also don't know. Especially Carla has participated in the S-Rank Mage exam many times, and each time is different. I can see clearly the strength, heart and soul of everyone this year. There are 9 contestants in total, President Makarov explained. After hearing the words here, Dino also raised his head and glanced at the chairman and was a little dazed. If there are 9 people, doesn't it mean that there is one more person? Will it be me? Natsu Dranil. Okay tilde. Grey Fullbuster. Finally the day has come. Ruby Rocks. Huh? 0.0 Juvia is also participating. Elfman. Kana Albarona. Freed. Levy. Mestgrider. The publicity of the 8 contestants has been completed. Finally Makarov turned his attention to Dino. And Dino. For a while, the people in the guild became noisy. Some people are very happy, while others are very disappointed. And Dino is the eyebrow. He didn't expect that he would be required to participate in this competition, but this way, it might be more troublesome at that time. Thinking about the general plot of Sirius Island, Dino also felt that it was a bit unpleasant. He vaguely remembered that the Black Dragon seemed to come at the end, and was sealed for 7 years. To be honest, Dino didn't want to be sealed. At that time, we have to think of a way to do it. If it really doesn't work, I will give up being an S-Rank Mage and leave Sirius Island. Chapter 97, Dino who went to Lucy's house to eat, drink and sleep. This time, only 2 of these people can pass the exam. The exam will be held in a week. Everyone go back and adjust your state. Makarov clenched his fists. As soon as these words came out, Erza's 3 S-Rank mages understood what they meant. All eyes turned to Dino. Of these 2 qualified people, I am afraid that one of them is already the default Dino. In the past 6 months, Dino's strength and character are also quite reliable. It is also appropriate to become S-Rank, and it is a process to let him participate this time. 2 people? Dino there must be one, and his strength is obvious to all. So what is the other? I think Freed, Gray and Natsu are also possible. Mest is right. The members whispered. The most certain thing is that Dino must have one of them. Why am I not on the list? There. Gajeel was indignant, even more upset when he remembered that Juvia was one of them. I have roughly heard about your situation in the guild, and it seems that you are not very trusted. Ponce Lilly complained in a timely manner. Gajeel was very angry and wanted to reveal his identity as a double agent. Hey, big brother Dino is really among the 9 people. But the 16 places for 2 S-Rank mages should not be easy to get. Lucy was also curious. To be honest, she felt that Dino would definitely be able to become an S-Rank mage. After all, he was such a reliable big brother. And Kana also scratched his head. I'm going to participate again. To be honest, I'm not so interested in S-class mages. Find a chance to meet Geer Darth, Dino said. Not much to say, just participate. This time, you can also try your true strength and see if you can fight a black dragon. On stage, this time a few people are participating for the first time, so let's restate the rules. Makarov ordered. Mira Jane introduced the 9 people who have been selected. Please choose one person to be your partner during the preparation time this week. The people below were startled. Partner? It's a team of 2. In this way, the bonds between partners will also be tested. Erza added, there are 2 rules for choosing a partner. One is that you must choose a member of Fairy Tale, and the other is that you cannot choose an S-class wizard as a partner. But when everyone thought it was over, Geer Darth also stepped forward and looked at Dino. Because of Dino's superior strength, there are some restrictions on you. First of all, you can't form a team with Anim. After all, Anin's strength is far beyond that of ordinary members, so it would be too strong to choose her. Geer Darth said. Immediately, Dino pity. He really didn't expect the president to have restrictions on him. Can't choose Anin? Hiss. To be honest, Dino feels targeted. Is it his fault that he is strong? Yeah. Dino's personal strength and Anin's personal strength are both very strong. If the two of them form a team, it feels too much to play. That is to say, can't Erza, Mirror Jane, and Geer Darth team up together? Indeed, you can't even team up with Mr. Gajeel, otherwise it's too strong. The members of the guild actually felt really good when they heard this. This makes Dino unable to complain. The specific assessment content will be announced when we arrive at Sirius Island. Erza will still block you this time. Meanwhile Mirror Jane will be in charge of blocking. Even Geer Darth will be involved when the time comes. Below, Lucy couldn't help but complain. Difficult? Do you mean that in order to become an S-rank mage, you have to defeat Erza or Miss Myra? Almost. According to the situation, the three of them should put in some water. I'm afraid that only Dino has a chance. 80% of the other people can't beat these three people, especially Geer Darth. Whoever plays against him will definitely lose. Difficulty. From this, it can be seen that it is extremely difficult to become an S-rank mage. The chosen people and their partners will gather at Harjan Harbor in a week's time, and the meeting will end. After the president finished speaking, he got off the stage. Many contestants also sat directly together and began to discuss. The difficulty this year is really high. It feels really not easy. It's surprising that you are both challenging for the first time. You Healthman, the road to the S-class is too far. I'm on fire. Definitely going to be an S-rank mage. Everyone was enthusiastic. Dino, on the other hand, was a little less interested. Mainly because I didn't expect the president to separate Anin from himself this time. Too strong? So what kind of teammate should you find? After thinking about it, Dino couldn't think of a personal choice. Lucy? Nope. Lucy's words. Dino plans to let Carla team up with her. Try not to break up their fight with Freed. So who should you choose? Juvia and Levy are also a good fit. However, both of them are contestants, and it is estimated that they also have partners they want. So choose Carla. Sweat. Is it unethical to rob someone else's cat? Posse Lily's words certainly won't work. After all, the kitten who can fight with Anin is also very strong. By the way, has everyone already chosen a partner? Lucy asked. Natsu immediately grabbed Happy. Of course I'm with Happy. Warm. Then a light appeared beside Grey over there. Loki appears. Kiss. Long time no see everyone. Immediately, Lucy was stunned. You celestial spirit are too self-willed. Are you okay to come out by yourself? Lucy asked. Loki smiled. I'm sorry Lucy. Grey and I made an appointment last year. Let's get in touch with you during this period. There. Juvia was also weeping. Lebby wants to quit and team up with Lord Dino. Then the next second, Dino also yawned. No way. Your strength is stronger than Anin, and the poor old man of the president will never let me team up with you. At this time, Levy stepped forward from there, sitting in front of Dino. Dino, can I ask you a favor? Dino looked at her curiously. I want Anin to form a team with me. Can't you form a team with Anin? Levy said. Dino was stunned. After thinking about it, I also looked at Anin. Anin, decide for yourself. This time on Sirius Island should take a while, and then I will see you. If you are at home, you probably won't have many acquaintances. Anin thought and flew up and landed on Levy's head. I agree. Haha, Anin is doing well. Let's go. I'll treat you to a bowl of milk, so you can have a good meal and have a good drink. Levy smiled and took Anin away. Then listener chose Juvia. Elfman and Evergreen team up successfully. All that's left is Kana, Dino, and the mast. Alala. Dino still has no choice. Mirror Jane stepped forward over there. Dino's mouth twitched. 707. I don't blame you all. You have to separate me and Anin. Now there are not many roles to choose from. Mirror Jane smiled. You can choose Wendy. No matter what, Wendy's strength is still good. The main reason that prevents you from choosing Anin is that the two of you have a tacit understanding and admiration, and Wendy's words are just right. After hearing this, Dino also understood. Looking at Wendy and beckoning. Dino brother. Wendy and Carla stepped forward. Dino pondered and said, Wendy's words. How about going to Sirius Island with my brother and me? Huh? Wendy was surprised. Carla also blinked, not expecting that it was Dino who invited Wendy. That doesn't seem to matter. Can I? Wendy is a little shy. Dino touched her hair and affirmed, of course you can. Otherwise you won't have many acquaintances in the guild after we all leave. That ... Good. Wendy agreed. Time flows. After night falls, Dino brings Kana to Lucy's house. Hey, brother Dino is here to eat and drink again. Can you not sleepwalk and lie beside me tonight? Lucy also yawned when he saw Dino sleepwalking and running beside him to sleep. Dino didn't do much. Many times she woke up with Dino beside her. Kana is here too. Lucy saw Kana quickly and sat down and waited for them to speak. This time, the purpose of coming here is to hope that Lucy will accompany Kana to participate in this Sirius Island this time, and you have some of the same. Dino made a suggestion. Lucy agreed after thinking about it. Then you can chat by yourself. I'll go back to sleep first. After seeing things settled, Dino also waved and disappeared from the room. Chapter 98, Let him move by himself next time. Everyone has their own thoughts. It's the day of the S-rank wizard upgrade exam. Hajj, Hong Kong. Boat to Sirius Island. It's so hot. Why is it so hot in winter? Lucy threw his legs and sat on the chair without any image and complained. Opposite is Dino, and Wendy is sitting there wearing cool clothes beside him. Juvia was on the other side, staring at Dino's leaking muscles. Can't stop gulping. So sad. Natsu, can you please not come here? Natsu didn't vomit constantly on the edge of the boat, muttering in his mouth. Wendy and Dino don't give me Troya. It's so uncomfortable. I can't stand it. Dino also chuckled and complained. There's no way. Who made us the enemy? You also expect us to use healing magic on the enemy, so you can bear it. Then he also looked at Mest and the teammates beside him. I didn't expect you, Gajeel, to team up with Mest. Speaking of which, my memory of Mest is not very clear. Dino squinted and chuckled. I chose Wendy, Anim and Levy to team up. So if Gajeel wants to come over, he has to find Mest, the guy who manipulates memory. Humphrey, that's a must. It's rare to have this opportunity to see everyone's greatness. You must come here. Gajeel laughed. Mest also smiled softly. Well, I used to be Mr. Gun's apprentice, and I'm not often in the guild, so everyone's impression of me will be very rare. Dino didn't say much. In fact, he clearly knew the identity of this guy, but dismantling it would be boring. Soon, the distant Sirius Island also poured into his eyes. There is a small island above a huge tree trunk on the island. That is the holy land of the fairy tale guild, Sirius Island. It is said that fairies used to live on that island. At this time, Chairman Makarov stood at the edge of the boat, looking into the distance with his hands behind his back. President, Master President. Everyone was saying hello, and that's also the resting place of Fairy Tale's first-generation president, Mavis Viviamleo. Makarov responded. Then he continued, the assessment content of the first exam is now announced. First exam? Wendy repeated. Dino touched his chin and answered, every year, there are several stages in the upgrade test, and the first stage is about to be carried out. The president went on to say, you have seen the wolves on the shore of the island, and the first thing to do is to get there. There are 9 roads there, and only one group of people can enter each road. Then, the road is laid out like this. A phantom appeared beside President Makarov. It's full of numbers, and what's inside the road? 3 of the 9 roads are guarded by 3 S-rank mages, and if you defeat the 3 S-rank mages, you will win. Similarly, teams on each of the other 4 roads will meet each other, and the winner will receive a place. The last 2 statics means that there is no opponent and can win the game directly. The first road test is your luck and force. President Makarov finished his explanation. Several people began to discuss. In terms of luck, we still have a great chance. There is a 2 in 9th chance of choosing the 2 quiet. No matter how unlucky we are, we can choose one. Lucy was happy. Evergreen said to himself, so theoretically there can be 7 sets of characters, right? Elfman shook his head. No, it's impossible. The path that Geer Darth and Erza are on is impossible to break. Levy was ashamed. Isn't it true that there may even be only 4 wins? The elimination rate is too high. Anna nodded. I will help you. Levy smiled. It's ridiculous. Then I'll ask Ananzui. Makarov didn't give them too much time to think. Okay, let's take your place. The exam begins. Gah! In a split second, Mest and Gajeel disappeared from sight. That's it. Happy. Natsu shouted something like that. Immediately, Happy grabbed Natsu and flew. Boom. However, before he could react, he directly slammed into the invisible wall. Skills? Kana suddenly exclaimed. That Freed and Bixlow also appeared outside immediately. Don't worry, it will be released automatically in 5 minutes. People go. Damn it, you bastard. It's too damn it. Does this guy really have to wait 5 minutes for such a move? On board. Everyone scolded Freed angrily. Hey, old man, aren't they a foul? Gray also reported directly. However, Makarov shrugged nothing. Hee, I can crack the spell, too. But let's go with an and first see you on the island. At this time, Levy rewrites the spell to leave the hull. Anan immediately grabbed Levy and leapt towards Sirius Island extremely fast. Humphrey, I've known Freed for a long time, and I can still rewrite this spell. Evergreen also smiled at the modification, and Delphman and also left immediately. On board. That leaves Juvia, Kana, Gray, Natsu and Dino's team. They are so cunning. They even trap us with such things as spells. This is obviously a violation of the law. Makarov sat quietly, unmoved. How could it be illegal? Anyway, everyone is going out, but if you wait a few more minutes, then it will be a fall if you wait. Although it doesn't matter if you go late, it's better to go early and come back early, by everyone. Dino stood up, pulled Wendy's little hand and kicked it. The spell is also opened. He waved his hand and muttered, this type of art can be opened even if you can breathe. Dino flew away with Wendy. The people on the boat had to stare with big, Zelda's eyes. I didn't expect Dino to be able to do spells. He knows a lot about it. Fu, fire, sky, Iron Dragon Slayer magic, dressing magic, spells, wind magic, celestial spirit magic, etc. Except for Jida. The rest of us can't stop it. Makarov looked at Dino who was leaving, and was a little speechless and cold. Suddenly, he realized that, as the president, he didn't even know as much as Dino. Damn it, they are so annoying. and Dino really doesn't know how to open a back door for us. When I go back, I must let him know how good I am. Carla is angry. In vain she is so passionate about Dino, and in the end she doesn't help her own woman. Next time, be cool and let him move on his own. 5 minutes. It is estimated that it will pass quickly. Gray and Loki also waited quietly. Lord Dino, Juvia won't admit defeat. You go first. I'll catch up with you soon. Juvia cheered herself on. Chapter 99, DinoVS Geer Darth. Sirius Island. Dino and Wendy set foot on the island. The rich magic of the entire island also poured into Dino's body. I feel a very powerful magic coming from this island. Wendy stood beside him. Taking a deep breath, can also feel the huge magic power. Dino nodded. Yeah. Look at the existing roads. Route F is blocked. Route B is blocked. The Japanese route is blocked. Route 2 is blocked. 4 blocked routes also appeared in front of us, and the remaining roads were also different. Deep bottomless. Dino, which one do we choose? Wendy asked. Dino touched his chin and pointed to the route after the thought session. Just choose it. There is a high chance that you will meet Geer Darth when the time comes. Wendy, you can protect yourself. I have long wanted to have a fight with Geer Darth, the strongest in the guild, Dino said. Wendy nodded obediently. Of course she knew that this time she came here just to accompany her. Plus she's not suitable for fighting. Be a helper. The two walked in, and Dino was also very relaxed. There are 2 things he needs to inform Geer Darth this time. 710. The first is naturally a fight with Geer Darth, the other is to tell Geer Darth about watching Carla. The passage is pitch black. Dino and Wendy wondered leisurely. Of all the contestants, they may be the only group that has nothing to worry about. After all, if Dino couldn't beat anyone, even with Wendy, he would be defeated. Inside the channel, Dino and Wendy arrive in the open field. I didn't expect it to be you. I thought it would be Natsu who came here. In the shadows, Geer Darth stepped out. The eyes are also very long after seeing Dino and Wendy. Hearing from the president, the strength of this little guy Dino is also super strong, even on par with Saint 10. Rumor has it that it possesses multiple dragon-slaying magic. I thought it was you, because among the 3 S-rank mages, you are the only one who can barely resist me. Dino stood opposite and looked at Geer Darth calmly. Little devil. You are quite arrogant when you speak. I hope your strength is the same as your mouth, otherwise it will really disappoint people. Geer Darth joked. Dino nodded. In terms of identity, you are still my husband, but unfortunately I won't be soft-hearted today. Old man? Geer Darth froze. Just had a hallucination. How does it feel to know something incredible? A look of astonishment. Fight me, and then I'll tell you who your daughter is. The waste power in the body starts to work. The ground beneath his feet sank suddenly, and the ground cracked open. Powerful magic catharsis. The entire Sirius island of Ling was shaken. The atmosphere swayed in visible droplets. The white clouds in the sky hurriedly drifted into the distance, and a white beam of light emerged, shaking the whole island. The sea waves rippling. The small animals on the island fled in terror. Dino unleashes such a powerful magic, so it's Geer Darth and meat. On the island, Makarov felt the boiling magic in the air and the soaring beam of light immediately guessed. The contestants were amazed. What a powerful magic! The entire guild is so powerful. I am afraid that only Geer Darth, the president Makarov and Dino, so that means Dino and Geer Darth met. Erza, who was confronting Juvia and Listener, looked terrified. Feeling the unparalleled magic power is also analyzing. The other members all had their scalps numb, and this powerful magic made them timid. On sight, Wendy's whole body exploded with goosebumps. Fortunately, this magic power was not aimed at her, otherwise she would have been stunned long ago. Even now, she doesn't dare to be negligent, for fear that a mistake will be hit by this powerful magic and faint. Opposite, Geer Darth withdrew the dazed eyes, and the whole face was condensed together, eyes alert. His pupils trembled slightly. He was shocked. Is this powerful magic really emanating from this little child? Bka, too strong. Sure enough, what the president said is good at all. You are so powerful at a young age, and you are definitely a terrifying existence that far exceeds everyone's. In this case, I can't let go of water. Geer Darth arrives. He doesn't worry about whether Dino can advance. What he worries about is that if he loses, would it be too embarrassing? At the same time, the magic within Geer Darth also boiled over. Dare to release all that has been reserved. The magic of the two collide. There was a screeching sound in the air. The entire passage was collapsed by the magic of the two collisions. 2 huge stones fell from overhead. The smashing magic released before Geer Darth was completely shattered. Opposite, Dino didn't even bother about the rock above his head. It was also broken down into small stones of the same size by the crisscrossing smashing magic before it landed. Geer Darth looked slightly worried. Sure enough, the president said that you probably have the same smashing magic as mine, and you really didn't lie. Geer Darth murmured. Dino leaked big white teeth. Come on then, Ga. Before Dino finished speaking, the figure disappeared 1 step ahead. Geer Darth raised his hand and used smashing magic to hit straight ahead. When we were concubine, that fist just happened to collide with Dino who just appeared. White light blooms. Surrounded by 2 figures. Wendy, who was dodging behind, also blocked her eyes. She suddenly regretted accompanying Dino to the competition. The fight between these two monsters was simply not something she could bear. The collision of magic power almost made her faint. Up to now, my head is dizzy, and if it goes on like this, it may be really embarrassing to faint. Boom 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 dash. Explosion of white light. At the point where the two fists confronted each other, the sky and the earth were torn apart. A bottomless ravine was torn apart alive by the magic power of two people. Retreat. Both Dino and Geer Darth immediately pulled away from each other. With their strength to their level, if they really let go of their hands, they might really wipe out the entire island. It's just a matter of sparring. Geer Darth reminded. Smashing magic is very strong, especially the collision of two smashing magics. When resisting each other, that magic will also shatter everything around them. This is somewhat unfavorable for the entire Sirius island. Alright, then let's learn about simple physical skills. Of course Dino had no problem. He also wants to save some magic power to deal with the enemies that may appear later, and it is not appropriate to consume so much with his own people now. The figure disappeared again. The ground on which he stepped was smashed into potholes by the force, which was enough to show that the force used this time was also quite large. Geer Darth's figure also disappeared in an instant. Beak cracking. Bang 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 dash. Wendy has lost sight of the two of them. I can only vaguely perceive that there are two figures in the air constantly tossing back and forth. The collision of fists and fists also caused a sonic boom in the air. Chapter 100. The bruised Geer Darth was beaten. Fight. Boom. A battle of pure physical skills and strength. Even so, the passage they were in kept shaking. Power is enough to break everything. Bang dash. Dino found an opportunity for Geer Darth and punched him in the chest. Handsome. Geer Darth's figure was immediately slammed to the ground, and was ruthlessly embedded into the ground. Breaking through the ground, Geer Darth rubbed his aching chest, stood up with a grin, and looked at Dino, unable to laugh or cry. Shame. It's really embarrassing. The oldest senior in the guild, his combat experience is not even as good as this little brat. This punch also made Geer Darth's face. This first punch is to say hello to you, the strongest wizard of the fairy tale guild. Dino lands. The figure disappeared again, and this time the speed was even 3 points faster than before. Rao is also moved by Geer Darth. His strong fighting instinct made him fold his hands in front of him. Suddenly, Dino's figure came to the front, his left fist was charged, and the purpose happened to be Geer Darth's raised arm. Seeing this, Geer Darth was just about to laugh. The Dino right fist in front of him slammed straight into Yanlong. Stomach cramps. Geer Darth almost vomited gall. This punch is to blame you for not being a proper father. Dino's voice resounded. Go behind Geer Darth, reach out and grab Geer Darth's collar and pull it back. A knee lift hits Geer Darth's lumbar spine. Duran. The fracture of the bone also made Geer Darth's pupils constrict. The severe pain also made him almost unable to hold back the magic in his body. Monument. Dino jumped up and kicked Geer Darth away, and set him against the wall again. Don't worry, Wendy and I both know healing magic. As long as you don't kill people, you can recover. Dino timely reminder. As a father, you probably don't even know who your daughter is. Dino's figure flashed in front of Geer Darth. The open palm is printed on Geer Darth's chest again. Puff. Spit out blood. Geer Darth's eyeballs were bloodshot. Pain. It really hurts. However, when he heard Dino's words, he couldn't tell. He was not a good father in a sense. It wouldn't be a big deal if Dino beat himself up to resolve the grudge. At least it can be explained that his daughter, who doesn't know her name, has found a good man. She participated in 5S class mage for you. In her memory, she is not qualified to confess to you unless she becomes a powerful mage. Dino's voice is cold. To be honest, he was very distressed about Carla having such an irresponsible father. But every time he kept trying to improve his strength. The reason is that one day I can openly and honestly confess to Geer. 5 times. 5 years. How many 5 years of life have been spent on this matter? So Dino Geer has no psychological burden to play. Lei Yanlong. Geer Darth's heart was beating wildly. He didn't expect his daughter to work so hard in order to take the initiative to confess after becoming an S-rank mage. Geer Darth was extremely ashamed. Boom 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 dash. Dino swings his fists, aiming at Geer Darth is a set of chain punches. In the end, Dino's body burst into fiery red flames, and the surrounding body was also filled with traces of electric arcs. There was a rattling sound. Flames flowed from the corners of his mouth. His chest was high, and his eyes were like dragons. The Flame Dragon Kings. Roar. Boom. The sky-high fire drowned Geer Darth. The battle is over. Dino exhaled hot breath and walked over to the scarred Geer Darth and looked at him. When he raised his hand, the healing magic fell. Geer Darth's damage also recovered quickly. Although the magic power in the body is not much, at least there is no problem with the body. You little brat. Did you beat your old husband like that? Geer Darth moved his body and sat up too. Dino shrugged. Carla is your daughter, you and Cornelia's child. I don't know the rest. Geer Darth patted his head. It turned out to be Cornelia, I thought. I didn't dare to say the latter. With his so much affectionate personality, if anyone hears it, he will be despised severely. Ha ha ha. Geer Darth also laughed and patted Dino's shoulder after returning to his senses. Yes, Boy, you are very good, and you can find my daughter as a girlfriend among all living beings. It is enough to see that you still have vision. Very not bad. You are fine. Ha ha ha. Dino rolled his eyes, throwing off his hand. He took Wendy and walked towards the passage. For flowers. Oh, I figured it out through divination magic. There is a big crisis on Sirius Island, and some terrifying guy may come here, so don't rush to leave. Leave after speaking. Geer Darth scratched his head and said nothing. Turn around and leave to find a chance to meet Carla. After all, if his daughter doesn't recognize each other again, the ghost knows that this kid Dino won't beat him. End of the channel. Carla and Lucy, Natsu and Happy, Levi and Anim, Gajeel and Mest, Gray and Loki. Get advanced victories. Where Carla and Lucy beat Freed and Pixlo. Levi and Anim and Gajeel and Mest were lucky to find quiet. Natsu and Happy won against Elfman and Evergreen. 0. Gray and Loki fought Mirror Jane, which looked brutal, but still won. Who's left? Rabia and Listener didn't come, so Dino and Wendy who fought Geer Darth were left. Gray scanned the people present and analyzed. Yo hello everyone. At this time, Dino took Wendy and stepped forward as well. The state of clean clothes and no consumption also left everyone stunned. Dino, aren't you hurt? The entire passage on your side has collapsed without a single scratch. Brother Dino, how did you beat Geer Darth? Hey, Dino is so strong. It also surprised everyone to see that Dino and Wendy came clean. It's nothing, it's just Geer Darth, nothing to be afraid of. Dino chuckled. Looking at Carla, everyone nodded in agreement. Carla also understands with a smile on her face. Cough cough. In short, the first team to pass the level is 6 groups above. President Makarov spoke. Dino and the others all looked at the president silently. Then I'll start announcing the mission for the second phase. Makarov said again. I will definitely become an S-rank mage. Let's decide the outcome. The last mage will definitely be mine. Equally, I won't lose. Everyone is in high spirits. Only Dino is not so noisy because he knew that this battle was not the so-called S-mage. 0.